with that attitude. My dad said I had to learn to drive a stick shift, but every van I ever had was an automatic. My friends said someday I would make it big, but I'm still living in the basement. I'm just as broke as the day I was born, but I still make it work just like everybody else does. It's all just a cruel joke, and everybody knows there's no way out. Well, who's laughing now? The TV said I would never get a girlfriend unless I had a six-pack and smoked cigarettes. Well, I've got a couple extra pounds and the hottest girl in town. She don't mind having a little more of me to go around. I'm just as broke as the day I was born, but I still make it work just like everybody else does. It's all just a cruel joke, and everybody knows there's no way out. Well, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? The preacher told me this was only just a pipe dream, and I've been burning both ends 7 days a week. But baby, I just paid the rent, making music with my friends. It ain't much, but it could be the start of something big. I'm just as broke as the day I was born, but I still make it work just like everybody else does. It's all just a cruel joke, but everybody knows there's no way out. And now, we said I would be who's laughing now. And now, she said I never get a job. Who's
Good evening, everybody. Okay. We're not talking about the current drama, because one of my friends put out a video, and I knew this was coming. I was pretty excited. I have never had a good excuse to talk about Brittany Simon. For those of you wondering why I'm wearing a t-shirt with a rip in it, yes, I have run out of clothes because it's been a really busy week. I literally got up today and was like, oh, fuck, I'm so I've just given up. This is why I wear hoodies all the time, because I'm always wearing shirts. I literally went and ordered clothes from Amazon. That's how bad it's got with me doing fashion shit. Good evening. We're gonna do something fun tonight. We're gonna look at somebody who I think is probably one of the weirdest people I've seen in general YouTube. There's lots of people around who I see and I'm like, this person is crazy, but they've got like maybe a couple of thousand viewers, or they're like Alex Jones level. But Brittany Simon is special because Brittany Simon seems to have managed to capture a section of the market of essentially creating a Valley Girl cult. I'm going to keep saying cult, and I say it satirically for legal purposes, because I can't really describe it. I can't really think how else to fucking describe this shit. We're not just going to go over Kilo's video. He may join us. I have opened the invitation. He was meant to be here. He might have some shit going on. I don't know. He has sent me some interesting stuff, though. And we've also got some threads to go over, because, you know, I like reading. As a dyslexic. Fuck. And some, like, super old stuff that wasn't in Kylo's video. which we're gonna go through because like, I was reading some of it. I legitimately, we're gonna go through the Kiwi Farm thread because I read it and I was like, the fuck is this? So yeah, that's the general game plan. How is everyone tonight? We doing good? Everyone enjoying their weekend? I don't know if I'm gonna get any awkward questions today. Brittany Simon's one of the oldest people on the platform. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. She's been around forever. I didn't realize until I was looking back over some of this shit, and I was like, wow, this goes deep. I know somebody posted in the chat like when this stream went up. Thank you for this. I've thought she was running a cult for a while, and yeah, I will actually. I will actually admit to the fact that like every time I see her talk about kind of her ideas of introspection and levels and spoons and the way she builds her particular parasocial relationships. We all build parasocial relationships, by the way. I love you guys. Like and subscribe. You know, you get to know me, you get to hear me. You get to hear about me like shopping for clothes. All those little things. The way she does it is monetized and bizarre. And I do mean bizarre. I've never seen anybody both dedicate themselves and not dedicate themselves to an audience in such a weird fucking way. So yeah, Evan heard you were talking. Hans comes in. Evan, I heard you were talking shit about me, Evan. He was. Okay. We're just gonna get into it. So, I've gone a little bit ahead in Kylo's video to about the 16-minute mark. This video is done by Kilo the Giant. I really recommend you go and sub to him. I'm actually going to link the video. It's a good watch. I promoted it on Twitter as well. I actually really like his work. I think I've seen him do streams and things, and I've seen him on people's streams. It's all right. I think that his video essays are actually really fucking good. Do you have a Spotify or YouTube Music? Your music taste is great. I don't. I might put something like that together though, because I'm really, really bad at telling you who the fuck I'm playing at the beginning. That was Durry, who's laughing now, and I really like their current album. Okay, right. So I ran it ahead to the 60-minute mark because I feel like this is a good like introductory place of just an incident that I like saw like Kylo talk about. And I was like, oh, I think this sums up something about her.
But the worst aspect of Brittany's parasocial irresponsibility is that she makes it confusing for her fans to know whether she is their friend or not. Remember the hour-long private calls she sells to her fans? These calls are a large portion of Brittany's business, and she's routinely booked out.
Yeah, so the stuff Kylo's going over here is basically like the playlist members only. I might do that actually. Rage, that's actually a good idea. That's a legitimately good idea. You get access to where the fuck my playlists are. That's so dumb. I might do that. Okay. So Brittany. Hey Tim, by the way. Brittany and Sony, hey Tim. Fuck. It's completely distracted. So Brittany basically has like a lot of monetized services in, whether that's her like therapeutic OnlyFans kind of sort of thing. I don't know. And she also charges for like hour-long calls. So here we got support the content and get an hour-long call. 1 hour call with me. Calls are done through Discord, Zoom, or Google Chat. Services available discussing philosophy, the levels. We'll get to the levels. We are going to watch her some of her video on her philosophy. Anime, whatever's on your mind. This perk includes access to Discord. This is not an adult service of any kind. If you attempt to cross any boundaries or rules, you will be kicked off the conversation and you will not be refunded.
Out every month.
And then I have calls for the rest of the day, so I have to go do those, and I'm so excited for those. They're gonna be great.
The purpose of these calls seems to be mainly for her self-help services.
You should book a call with me, because I'm better than even life advice itself.
But remember that the purpose of the calls is entirely up to the caller.
You are going to hear a lot of, oh my god, I'm so, I'd like, actually, so, you know how occasionally people talk about prejudice, and they're like, I don't like this religion, I don't like this, I don't like this philosophy. Okay, I really fucking hate Western Buddhists. And I'm gonna explain this. I'm gonna explain this. Western Buddhists drive me completely up the fucking wall. Like, just to unbelievable levels. Because every time I meet them, they'll sit there and go, I am so enlightened. I have achieved a level of enlightenment that you cannot believe. You cannot even approach the understanding of the enlightenment levels I'm at. I met the Dalai Lama. I know somebody who once said to me, I met the Dalai Lama, and, you know, it was at that point that I'd realized that I'd gained true enlightenment, because I could see the things he was missing, and I was like, motherfucker, you are. So, but Brittany's like that. It's like, she talks occasionally about, like, going through, like, an ego death, and how this, like, led her to depression and suicidality. It's fucking mental. And then she started a cult.
So many of Brittany's fans call her just to hang out.
Like literally some of my callers, like we play video games, like sometimes we just talk, like sometimes it's very fun.
Personally, I just think
But would you say they were a level 5?
her audience of lonely, troubled people paying her $250 to hang out with her for an hour is weird and creepy. But I understand some people don't have a problem with this part. The problem comes in when Brittany intentionally blurs the lines around what her relationship with the caller actually is. Before we finish this chapter, let's briefly learn about one of Brittany's former fans. To keep her identity private, we'll call her Alondra. Alondra unfortunately suffers from borderline personality disorder and became a frequent caller of Brittany's. She developed a great amount of respect and admiration for Brittany throughout their interactions.
I'll slow it down a bit, just for this. So this is, everything except her ego died. Jesus Christ. Good evening, Rude Mudcrowd, by the way. Nice to see you here. Yeah, so... Fuck. This is talking about somebody who doesn't really want to be. Oh, what are levels? So, Brittany Simon. I know we're jumping. We'll be doing a bit of this, but Brittany Simon's philosophy essentially focuses around levels of introspection and your ability to introspect, and know yourself. There are 5 levels to this, and at level 1, you're basically like an NPC. Level 5, you're like, oh, I'm so in tune, kind of shit. Typical self-help culty bullshit. Typical self-help culty bullshit. One thing that Kylo points out, which I've seen as well, whenever Brittany doesn't like anybody, whenever she gets into drama, she's like, well, that person's like a level 1. And there's a video I've got actually, somewhere in one of the playlists we might have a look at, where she's like, I think it's like the people in Squid Game are typical level 1s. It's just fucking, yeah, bitch is crazy.
Partially because of their shared diagnosis. One day, Alondra messaged Brittany. She was upset that she couldn't be provided with a real and meaningful friendship, which she felt like she needed, and she decided to cancel her calls. Let's read Brittany's response.
Hey girl, your tone is great. Clear and to the point. I am not canceling the $30 level. I'm just limiting it to 10 calls a month eventually. That way I'm still offering discounted calls and regular priced calls.
I think I need more of a friendship. Hey, well, listen, can we talk about the money of that? Just fuck.
I respect your desire to cancel our call. I know you didn't mean to remove yourself from the call list. So if this month you still want it, we can make it work. But I understand you wanting to move on. Thank you for letting me know your boundaries and desires in friendship. It's true, I can't offer anything more intimate than I can, and that's limited. I respect that. To clarify, does this mean you don't want to be friends at all? Or do you just want to give me space or want me to give you more space? We are adults. I'm open to having many friends with whom I see when I can and talk to when I can, without needing to be very close. But I also know that might not work for everyone. Please let me know so I can properly interact with you.
Brittany's response to Alondra is a strange mix of business, intimacy, and offers of different types of friendships. That if I
Good evening, Indigo. Yeah, so I think that sums up kind of how Brittany interacts. Now, right. This is Brittany's video on the levels. There's a couple of particular bits in here we're going to go through. Again, this is just like the run through of this shit. But it's very much, I'm not talking about magic. Fucking hell. At one point in this video, she's like, oh, well, I don't know if I believe in God because I've never met God. And I'm just like, it's also interesting from the perspective of watching someone try to pull somebody away from another belief system. Yeah. Okay. We'll go for, right, what was I going to look for? Let's go. Right, okay. We'll go from 12-minute mark.
like I know what I'm talking about. I even met people growing up who would tell me, oh yeah, in a conversation, I hate being the person who doesn't know anything. So I just kind of make it up as I go. This is a fine coping mechanism and a survival skill in social situations. But if you're really being insightful, if you're being introspective, if you're being extrospective, if you're really asking yourself, what do you know? You got to start with, I don't know. When I realized how...
So, for anyone who's ever done philosophy, like the basic position of like almost base Western philosophy is I don't really know anything. And if you look at like Socrates, the point of Socrates was the smartest man in the world because he realized he knew nothing. Which is interesting because one of the things with Brittany is she tends to sort of reach and take things from other people. And I strongly suspect this is kind of one of those.
Little I knew, it crushed me. My ego was shattered. I call it an ego death. I was in a national forest traveling 10,000 miles around the US, and I lost my sense of self for a moment there. I was confused, befuddled, angry, in conflict, frustrated at the world, and I just wanted to unalive myself. And then I realized, well, hold on. Wait, maybe I discovered something that I could help other people with. There is something to be said about giving.
Yes. I was lost, wandering in the woods, and realized I knew nothing, experienced ego death, and my first thought was, I can use this to help other people. Fuck. So... oh, time, fuck. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it in this one? Is it? I think it's right at the beginning. I think it's right at the beginning. She starts talking about like her experiences with like linear time, which is just fucking bizarre. I need to find it.
Very important, please.
Right, okay. Here we go.
Today. So that is what we're drinking for today's podcast. So first and foremost, to start off, we have to recognize that life isn't linear, even though it's perceived to be. Our perception allows us to perceive time as linear, our life as linear. And though for some people it might be that way, for somebody like me, I just don't have that experience. I feel like I go back and forth. I feel like I'm torn in multiple directions. I feel like sometimes I'm living 5 lives at once. And the way that I found a center...
That doesn't mean anything. It's this factor of trying to sound way more fucking complex than you actually are. And again, I can see why people are drawn to Brittany. Because holy shit. So Brittany talks a lot about like bubbles. We're also gonna watch something about this. In Avatar: The Last Airbender is a section. I don't know why. I don't know why. It seems to be a lot of like pop culture draws as well. This is How to Choose a Bubble, the Brittany Simon podcast. We'll have a quick look at this as well. I'm just giving you the layout of what this woman is like. I want to give you an experience and a taste for those who might not know her before we get into the slightly weirder shit. She's a time traveler. She might be a time traveler.
Talk about bubbles. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Simon. In today's podcast, I'm drinking a chamomile tea. I do not have the bag with me right now, but it is delicious. In today's video, we're going to talk about bubbles. This was inspired from the last 2 weeks, a 5-hour meditation I did with some people on my Discord. A bunch of things happened in the last...
We're not a cult. We just do 5-hour meditations in the Discord. What are bubbles? I'm excited to find out with you. I've heard a little bit about this. I don't really grasp it. Maybe I'm level 1. I don't like all these non-memberships in here. True! Truth.
2 weeks, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to talk about choosing your bubble. I have a lot of videos on bubbles coming, but in particular, I think we should start at the basics of choosing one. Now, this is a concept that I think many of us understand. Bubbles.
Oh, gifted 20 memberships. Thank you. That is so based. Super based. 07 in chat. Thank you, Thul. That's so cool of you. Based.
Was in this bubble, and I'm in this bubble. What I'm saying,
well, now I have to do the playlist thing for members. Oh, fuck.
He's like, you're all in bubbles. Like, you must know you are in another bubble related to their bubbles. Like,
Let's fucking go.
Yes, say it out loud. I need you to acknowledge it.
I don't even know what you mean when you say that, but sure, I'm in a bubble related to the bubbles. Yeah?
Like, okay.
We're all in the bubbles.
Real quick, that could be possible. I would be curious what type of guy it is. Maybe because this might be my bubble because of the industry that I work in.
Katie went on Chelsea Handler's podcast, Dear Chelsea, and revealed that she'd been living in Kentucky for a month now, saying that leaving Hollywood has allowed her to understand people better. She did say that people in Kentucky definitely live in a bubble, but admitted that people in Hollywood do too.
Wait, let me do this.
Wait, I'm sorry. So I think the bubble thing is, because I've never really been clear on the fucking bubble thing, is, well, you're welcome, buddy. Remember, don't complain about the problems, be the problem. True. Listen, don't be caught in the storm. Just cause it. Based. I like the fact that this bubble thing is just like, and again, it's this simplified down of normal things people say, and then and then going, yeah, that's actually a profound statement. I sent you something that will help you understand bubbles. Oh, fucking bubbles. Yeah, okay. Go on, Evan.
It's not easy when you're new in town.
Loser. He's new, so we hate him.
I can't believe I managed to put in the sound really well done, Evan.
Except when you have something that makes huge bubbles. Amazing bubbles.
Holy shit, that kid has bubbles!
Bubble thing makes people curious.
I was so wrong to judge you, Billy.
Jesus fucking Christ. Someone tell Brittany, Nostalgia Critic's stealing her shit.
So she's gotta go, I agree with you? What?
Bubbles is just a retarded way of nothing that an individual perception is their reality. Yeah.
But here's why I disagree with you. Because
I think on the internet, everything seems very hopeless and everything seems...
Oh, fuck. This is good. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. You may notice that she seems to interact with Destiny, with Not So Erudite, with, like, various people from the politics scene. She seemed to have wormed her way into Destiny's community at some point in the, like, 2021, 2022. And then started to have these interactions. Where is the level 1's one? Right, okay, here we go.
Hey everyone.
This is Squid Game has the perfect example of wands. So we're all going to learn what wands are, and we're going to learn if we are them.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Simon. Let's talk about Squid Game. So I have the cast sitting on my lap here on my phone. I'm not going to give anyone's names because I'm not going to memorize anyone.
Hold her back from Chud. She has interacted with Chud. I do have a stream where she has interacted with Chud lined up. I haven't seen that section yet. I am interested to. I've forgotten who the person on the left is, to be honest. That's Kidology. Kidology is like a femcel video essayist. I don't say that in a mean way. I quite like Kidology. I think she's pretty funny.
One's name, so I'm just going to say their character tropes or something to reference them, like the main character as an example. Somebody who obviously is a 1, and I am so excited to explore this with you. A lot of you requested for me to watch Squid Game to talk about the levels, so that's what we're going to do. If you guys are unaware of the levels, it's an observational philosophy / language that I created. Links down below for all the details.
Interesting. Links down below for all the details. The levels, a way to observe. Okay, let's go to this.
Hello, future worm food. My name is...
Do you know... You know the phrase, for those of you who aren't, like, too online, you know getting flashbanged with an image? I feel like the opening of every single one of Brittany's fucking videos is a flashbang. I feel like I know it's coming, and I still feel flashbanged. What the fuck is going on with your hair?
Is Brittany, and I'm a stupid person on the internet who has a camera. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my life philosophy. This is how I observe humanity. You can write it off, you can think I'm stupid, crazy, whatever. I am
This is unlisted. Why is this unlisted?
interested in your opinions, and I do want you to try to debunk my philosophy as a way to help me grow as a human. So I'm being selfish, and I am asking you to take 10 minutes of your day to prove to me I'm wrong, because if you can't, well then, I must be right. But with that said, let's go through it. This philosophy, disclaimer, was created with a co-author, but they would like to remain anonymous. So I will be taking all of the credit for this idiosity, or in some cases, geniosity, and I will go ahead and...
I'm sorry, wait, there's a co-author? I want to know. There's a higher person in the cult!
share with you the levels. Now, this is important, and this is kind of the big disclaimer of the video. There are 3 specific reactions I tend to get when I share this. And if you feel like you might be any of them, consider either not finishing the video and exercising your
She
free
looks
will
psychotic.
and going to do something else, or just keep it in mind.
This is a woman, and I might be paraphrasing here a little bit, but basically said Destiny's kid would be better off if he was aborted. Destiny obviously wasn't particularly happy that somebody who he interacted with had said, hey, you're such a bad father that it would be better if your kid was aborted, but did it in a woo-woo spiritual way, so it was fine.
As you watch. The first reaction are people who love exploring the idea with me, they have a good time, and it's just something they think is silly, but they also think it's interesting enough to spend hours and hours discussing it with me. The second group of people are people who hate me and think I'm an idiot and an evil person, an arrogant and a narcissist, which I understand.
People think I'm evil and arrogant and a narcissist. Is this something a narcissist would do? Fuck.
Because what I'm about to say might feel very arrogant, but it is in no way, shape, or form meant to make people feel bad. It's meant to help you because it helped me live a more full and joyful life. The doggo will give his input through the video, I am sure. The third reaction is people who have literally gone insane. I've had this happen. It is not a joke. I have had people experience insanity when exploring these ideas with me because they get overwhelmed with not knowing the answers. But the point of the full...
Wow, people going insane around Brittany Simon. I hope she didn't take any of them to court and refers to them regularly as a stalker while being involved in an ancient BDSM drama with them. That would be fucking wild.
Philosophy is not to force the truth inside of you. It is to choose how you want to examine the truth. And so I will proceed to show you the levels and talk to you about them, but please remember to care for your own mental health through this process. Level 1 is the unsatisfied fool. Often these people can be examined as...
Okay, we're gonna go through this. We're gonna go through this, and you are going to work with me to work out... Do you know what? Fuck it. I was gonna be like, work out your own levels. You can work out my level. Okay, we'll let chat decide what level I am. This should be fucking painful. Hey guys, what level's Beckett? Okay. So level 1 is the unsatisfied fool. 0 satisfaction with existence. Useless. Self-limiting. Never takes responsibility. A drain on family / society. So useless they can't even figure out they're useless. They live in a fantasy of being useful. That's level 1.
Lower.
No, we'll get that. We'll get that. We'll get that. Easy one. Fuck off, Merritt.
Functioning humans, but I don't mean in terms of ability. I mean in terms of choices. They're people who have every reason to succeed. Money, access, support, and some don't, but in general they usually do. And they, for some reason, are self-sabotagers. They cannot find satisfaction in existence. They're usually so unsatisfied with existence that they're even so useless that they can't kill themselves as a way not to be a burden on people or society. They're
Wait, are you fucking kidding me? They're so useless they can't even kill themselves to help wider society. That's fucking, what a wild thing to say. It's kind of base though. That's kind of like, if you said that to somebody as an insult, if you were like, you're so fucking stupid you can't even kill yourself, that would be funny. That would be a funny thing to say to somebody in a fight. The problem is she means it. That's not like an insult. That's like I feel sorry for you because like
they're kind of like the virus of society. They cling to existence and to breathing our oxygen, but will in no way, shape, or form, no matter how much help they get better. We all know these people. They exist in our lives. Some suffer from mental illness, some don't. But they come in all shapes, sizes, ages, races, backgrounds. So remember, all of the levels, all humans fall into some category. So unsatisfied fools are personally people I never fuck with. I used to try to save them, interact with them, give them resources, but they drain. They drain, they're emotional vampires, they're all of the things.
Just so we're quick. Hey, Ellington, thank you for the 5. Good to see you this evening. Did this T-Watt just create her own version of astrology? Did this twat just create her own version of astrology? Yes, 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 she did. Fuck, what was I gonna say? You completely distracted me. Okay, I want to keep a focus on the cult thing. A serious note, just big pins, how you know? Serious note. So, I want to keep a focus on the cult thing. If you were running a cult and you wanted to start separating from like people in your membership of that group who are giving you money from people who may be critical of you, would you think you'd create a level that you can easily label people and then say they're unsavable and you're just better than them and they're a drain on your life and emotional like well-being? Because that seems like something you'd say if you were running a fucking cult.
We've talked about a lot on this channel, but I'm giving them a name. Level 1s, unsatisfied fools. Level 2s, satisfied fools. Now, if you are a satisfied fool, congratulations, you're probably gonna live a pretty good life. The reason I say this is because most people are level 2s.
Okay, let's go back a bit. Believes their bubble is the best, maintains family, friends, jobs, generally good people, lives in their own bubble, most humans on the planet. Most humans on the planet are level 2s. Okay.
Level 2s are normal, everyday people. They're people who, they go through life wanting to do the basic things that make people happy. Food, shelter, water, family. They're people who are atheistic or in religions. They're people who believe in science or people who don't. They're people who are Democrats or...
They're people who believe in science or don't. Democrats or Republicans, Jesus Christ.
Republicans. They're all kinds of people, but they live a life that is premised on the basics being met. And the reason I say this is because there are a lot of people who exist in the world as level 2s, but they think they're awake.
Oh my god. Oh hey, it's the girl who defended the George Not Found accuser. Good evening, Devil's Advocate. Welcome in. Yes. We're not going to cover that, but most people from commentary, the last thing they're going to see, like Brittany from, was during the George Not Found drama, where a girl came out and basically accused him of sexual assault because he touched her waist. I'm paraphrasing here. I really fucking don't care about that drama. She defended him. She defended her, like the girl who came out with this weird fucking accusation. Fought with Lyrics because she said that Lyrics had like really bad takes, had basically nothing, and got fucking blown out the water. She is creating an us versus them where you are better and they are worse. You can find this in all political rhetoric. It's the most basic of the basic ideology. Yeah.
You might know the term woke, but as you examine the levels, I think it's pretty clear that even woke people aren't as woke as they think because there's a step above that. But before we jump into 3, 4, and 5, we need to talk about the actual subcategories of level 2. Level 2 has subcategories, A, B, and C. So if you're...
Jesus fucking Christ. Thinks South Park makes them smart. Gets their news from Twitter. Cares what strangers thinks of them. You've misspelt your own list, Brittany. Cares what strangers thinks of them. That should be thinks, right? I know I'm dyslexic. I've done this before. I'm being like, oh, you misspelt it. And everyone's like, no, Becky, you're just retarded. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Takes BuzzFeed and Jubilee seriously. Believes in flat Earth. What?
You're functioning level 2, but you fall into the C category. You're usually people who do pretty good in life, but can't quite get
no
where you need to go to feel completely comfortable every day in your own skin. But you're usually good people, or sometimes bad people, but you don't mean that. You're just kind of going with the script that was given to you. You're basically living in the Truman Show, but your existence is based off of where you're born, so it's not necessarily the Truman Show. It could just be your existence. And then you accept the reality you're given. Level 2s, but subcategory B, are people who are a little bit more high functioning. They're people who examine the world almost like a game of Monopoly and do pretty well in it. They're people who maintain jobs, families, structures. They're people who are maybe local politicians, school teachers, people of power, but not people of, you know, disgusting amounts of power. They're people who are really, really important to society. They make the world go round. They're people who...
Not you, buddy. This one's on her. It's good to know. It's good to know.
Who are kind, or not so kind, but they're people who really help society move forward in a very significant way. And I do not in any way mean this as a bad thing to be a level 2. I really need this to be clear. Because I know the human brain, it will want to...
Fuck.
be the next thing, because evolutionarily speaking, we want to search, we want to create, we want to be better. But the thing is that a lot of people are fine in their station, and they need to be in their station to
Okay.
a subcategory.
Okay, I'm gonna skip over bits of her just because she's not saying anything. She's just, oh, this is fucking, believe me, it gets a lot funnier when she's doing it about fuck my life.
You're a high functioning level 2. You're a person who is your president, your politicians, your governors, your world leaders, people who want to control the masses. Power is greed. Power is dangerous. Every great philosopher, every great teacher, every wise person in the world has never sought power because power corrupts. Why else would anyone ever...
Wait, what? Whoa, I got an email that I was gifted a membership to your channel. Yeah, Thuman, you got caught in a gifting thing. How you doing? I hope you're good.
want to be...
We're going over a crazy person who has a cult. I don't know if you know who Brittany Simon is. I'm just saying she has a cult. This is a fucking cult, okay? This is fucking insane.
In Trump's position. Why? Why would you ever want to be a world leader? What does it ever benefit you? And it's kind of amazing to me that people who experience sort of like a feeling of knowing are also the same people who spend their whole life on Twitter yelling
for the therapy bill after this. Thank you for the 20, Thol. Much appreciated. 07.
into the void to a president who's definitely not paying attention. And that's the thing, is that for me is such a waste of an existence, but for those people is their existence.
She's currently explaining, Thuman, the levels that people get to, where the levels people get to like in self-introspection in her weird like philosophy, I guess. It's you know, when someone takes like the most simple things, like the most like simple aspects of humanity, and turns them into a deep philosophical statement. That's Brittany Simon. She's just, you know, charging people a lot of money and building an online cult while doing it. That was a real one. So fucking true.
For some people, their whole existence is that bubble. And honestly, like, I don't live there. I've moved out of that bubble as I grew, and I found no peace.
Are you going to go over her stalker? Because that thing is so confusing to me. Yes, we are, and that's why I have the Kiwi Farm thread. Because I have bits for that, but we'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end. We'll get through everything. But as you've mentioned it, Stevie, yes, we'll talk about it.
Or joy in it, and I don't think you could argue that you're happy. If you want peace,
Sambertia,
enjoy,
no.
like inner peace.
Oh fuck, I heard about that.
Every great philosopher who's ever existed has said the same universal message: become not of the world, humble yourself, know the world, know yourself. And if you're living on Twitter, if you're living in politics, if you're living for power, if you're living for money, living for drinking, living for sex, you're living for the materialism of the world that only exists in this time. These things are only important now, but didn't even exist 200 years ago. Except they manifested themselves differently in different ways. Like, world leaders have always existed, but our problems seem so important to us because we exist during this time. And again, I don't think people who are number 2s, whether they're A, B, or C, need to not be number 2s. Because the irony of it is that most people who get to level 4 wish they could be level 2s again. Because there's a naivety, a simplicity to being a level 2. It's an existence where the biggest issue in your life is who is president.
Why would she wish death on a child? Oh, I don't. I've got top chat on. I'm retarded. Okay, so. Yeah, she said that Destiny's kid would be better off if he was aborted, because Destiny's like a bit absent and stuff. This is made worse by the fact she regularly interacts with Destiny. Just, hey, thank you for the 2, Sony. We are the cult of crabs. Very true. Crab cult shall never die.
Or the biggest issue in your life is whether or not babies are being aborted, or whether or not people are starving in the streets, and those are big issues, but they're not honestly the biggest issues. They just seem like it because in your bubble they are, which again, we need people to care about.
Oh fuck, okay. We're gonna go to whatever the next fucking level is. When do we get to level 4s? Okay? Let's get to level 4s.
It's a stage, it's a bridge level. There's nothing more to it. You either
Wait, so so level 3 is you have to choose between being a level 2 and a level 4? Fuck me.
You have to choose level 2 or level 4. Once you've made the decision to go to level 4, you can never again be a level 2. Level 4s are people who...
Okay, level 4. They have knowledge, but lack peace. They see life for what it is. They have no inner peace. They clearly exercise free will. Can commit... choose death! Congratulations, anybody who decides to commit suicide, you were a level 4 when you did it. Fuck me. They might be unaware of level 5 and assume they have reached final destination. It's almost like being a kid again, but with the answers to the universe and no peace.
Examine the world, understand the hierarchies, understand exactly what it means to be a part of subgroup. It acknowledges that we're animals on a planet. It acknowledges that there is no God. It just acknowledges the most real reality of existence, but it has no inner joy. When I was level 4, I struggled. It was really hard. I did not like it. I know that level 4 was the hardest for me. Level 4 was this moment, this opportunity in my life where I examined life in what I thought was the realest way to examine it. I popped reality bubbles. I really researched and decided to go outside of my comfort zone, and I found that I could recreate that feeling of God in church. You know that?
Is this a nihilism cult? No, it's not. And we'll get to Brittany's views on relation. Okay, so Thuman, I'll give you this, okay? So Brittany's husband is a former fan. Brittany's husband is somebody who was very active in her chat at one point. And that should tell you everything you need to know about where Brittany's priorities lie for this sort of relationship she's building with things. Weird Collar Guy, thank you for the 4 months. Jesus, we're really picking up. She's so perky, she's terrifying.
Feeling you get when you're a kid and you're in church and the Holy Spirit feels like it's inside you and it makes you cry and you're like, holy shit, God is real. I can recreate that through drugs, sex, social interactions, and honestly just sitting in my room in this chair. I can recreate it. And when you start to examine your life in that kind of a capacity, you need to come to a place where you're peaceful about it, because otherwise you end up in this place where you figure like, what's the fucking point, dude? There's no joy. All I know is the answers with none of the joy. Level 4 is hard. And keep in mind, I know a lot of level 3s who decided to be a level 2 and they know it and they love it. They're like, I could have been a 4, but fuck it, I'm gonna be a 2, because they're happiest. And the way they said it was, I was gonna be a level 4, but then I can't complain about petty shit, so I'm gonna be a level 2 so I can still complain about petty shit. And that was a really wise decision. That was them being cognizant that they still wanted to complain about petty shit, because most of the things that we complain about are petty. But again, when you're in
She seems delusional, she needs therapy. She is the therapy. That's She got asked by Lav what qualifications she had, and she said, well, we're YouTubers, we don't have any qualifications. It's like, okay, but you're charging people for giving them life advice. Do you not think it's a little bit of a scam? What the fuck?
the bubble, it feels very important. So when you're level 4, you're sort of examining all these like level 2s and level 1s, and it gets annoying and frustrating, and you kind of start to almost resent your own existence. So you want to make the conscientious choice to end your life. Funny enough, level 2s can commit suicide, meaning killing themselves out of despair. Level 4
okay. I was wrong. Level 2s can also kill themselves through despair. I'm glad that there's an equality. Thor, thank you for the 20 super based. If self-deletion is level 5, what are the over-under odds on betting she is sponsored by the Canadian healthcare system? Can you imagine this motherfucker in like a clinic? Just like you go to like, yeah, I need maid, and then there's Brittany Simon here being like, congratulations, you're level 4, get in the pod. Honestly based, I'd go through with that.
4s cannot. Level 4s will never again feel despair in the way that level 2s do, and they commit suicide, which is not of their own control.
There are so many people who give them money.
Can commit
so many
death,
people,
which is a conscientious choice to kill yourself, to end your existence, because you acknowledge that this is the world, and you can or cannot make that decision. I was going to make that decision. I discussed it with friends of mine, and I had said, look, I think like I've made a pretty good argument for making this decision. And then my friend, who's a level 5, said to me, I see myself in you. You're about a decade behind from me, maybe less. And I looked at him and I said, you seem pretty happy and joyful every day, even though you know all of this. Okay, I'll stick around. And I did, and I'm happy I did, because I became a level 5. And again, your goal is not to become a level 5, because then you'll never be a level 2. And a level 5 is alienating and lonely, but not lonely in the way a level 2 feels loneliness. A level 5 is comfortable with being alone because they know they can't go back, so they make peace with everything around them. The reason I can be happy every day in the way that I am is because all of this makes sense to me.
I want to point out something really important here. Brittany Simon is somebody who will get into fights with people and argue with people. There's no inner zen to this shit. I hate when people do this. So for those of you who haven't, who don't know, I have a theology degree. I spent a lot of time studying different, philosophies and, cultures, religions and stuff, and trying to pick things that were useful to me. I've seen a lot of different people, talk about, how they experience the world and everything. And by and large, the one thing I've found as a bit of a universal truth is the people who, I suppose Brittany would describe as, level 5s and things, and, deeply don't give a shit. They don't fucking care. What's the name of this cult? I've literally no fucking idea. It's Brittany's Discord. That's the name of the cult. Join it. They don't fucking care. It's not worth it. It's not worth getting upset about. If you are getting into an internet fight with Lyrics because you didn't like his takes on something and then getting angry at people and noting them as level 1s, you're not enlightened, bitch. You're still a deeply angry, visceral person. For the 5 from Ellington, forehead too big, eyes too big, nose too big, mouth too big. She's very unsettling to look at. Fuck.
2020, Trump, people freaking out over COVID, all of these things are predictable and make sense. Because human beings are predictable. History cannot repeat itself. It is not a living thing. Humans repeat history. The answers to the universe already exist. But how many people want to examine them and conscientiously choose them? Very limited. And I think that's fine. I think it is so fine that at the end of the day, I shouldn't even be making this video. But I also know it won't matter because most of the world is level 2s. So I'll get dismissed as a crazy person, and that's comforting to me.
I love when people do this. People will dismiss me because actually they're level 2s. Again, it's like the level 1 things, right? Toxic people can't save them. All feeds in. Hey, if you're a level 4 and people think you're fucking crazy, that's because they're level 2s. They can't possibly understand you. They're the dumb ones. This is such a cult. This is so obviously a cult. This is actual insanity. How has this gone so far? Are people taking their life because of her videos encouraging it? Do we know? Can you imagine if this bitch had got somebody to chosen death themselves? Most people get angry and they're in an argument, it's kill yourself. Brittany's pissed off and chosen death yourself, bitch. Theology, well, it makes more sense why you ended up in commentary. Jesus.
Listen, you want to watch a video about people giving you the answers? Watch The Social Dilemma. Acknowledge that the people who created the devices that you're all obsessed with, I don't know where my fucking phone is, okay? They created a thing to literally make you think you know what you're doing and you're making cognizant choices, but you're not. And the answers can start there. You want to know how I got here? Start there. And that's a new documentary. And then go and read the classics. Philosophers who have existed in our academia for years exist for a reason. When people started deciding old white men or people who have come before us didn't have the answers, was the moment you started to
Okay. Just quickly. This is going to be real nerd shit for a second. Thol, okay, theory, and follow me here. Maybe the world thinks you're crazy because you're crazy. For the 5, so true. Okay, I'm gonna let you all into a secret here as to why we read the particular philosophies that we do. It's because of the Roman Empire and because of Christianity. That's the secret. We read Plato because of Christianity. Like, for a long time in Europe, Aristotle was banned because he was widely read in Islam. It wasn't until like much later that his work started coming in. We started to value Greek like philosophy in particular, but largely that's because it was exported by the Roman Empire. Like, it's not just these things are super smart. That's why we've read them for long periods of time, because like the Western world relatively and comparatively recently discovered people like Confucius, which are like foundations for like a lot of Chinese philosophy and spiritual like stuff and the way their society works. I'm really badly paraphrasing here for Confucius. Confucius is great. But yes, it's not just, oh, they've got such insight. No, like, it's because they got exported into certain groupings within like nations, cultures, everything else, and had impacts. Because like, holy fuck, it's not just, oh, they're so insightful. Have you ever had, like, do people, like, we still read Descartes, right? Like, many people are going to read Descartes. Very few people are fucking duelists.
Forget that they did have the answers.
Okay, nerd shit over. We're good. We're good. We're good. Pass time.
You can learn from every philosopher, and every philosopher is human and therefore flawed. And I'm not arguing that philosophers are all level 5s. Actually, that's sort of the opposite of what I'm arguing. Example is Rand. Rand is a high-functioning level 2. She's a person who examined human beings in a...
We're gonna skip over. I don't want her takes on Rand. I don't fucking care. What is a level 5, Brittany? Level 5 inner peace. I've been saying this like, oh, I'm so enlightened. I'm so enlightened. Oh, inner peace. They accept reality for what it is and not what they want it to be. They can live as number 2s, but cannot unlearn the truth. They are human and still have normal human emotions. They enjoy life. They don't have bad days, but they do have hard days. Life is hard. No one gets to have easy. Brittany, you edited this. You're fuck. No one gets to have. I can't imagine why she unlisted this psychotic crap. Fucking hell. Did she just call Ayn Rand level 2? Yes. Look, I'm not a particular fan of Randian philosophy, or Rand in particular, but I'm not trying to... I just don't care what her take is. I just don't give a shit.
We can choose to be petty, we can choose to fake live as level 2s, and we can choose to get involved and get angry.
Oh, fuck, I didn't realize. I've just realized, so my earlier criticism of like, oh, well, if you're getting into fights with lyrics, this is a dismissal of it. That's very fucking clever. Oh, well, I'm a level 5, but I can choose to be like a level 2. I can choose to go down to your level and come and fight with you. Isn't that fucking convenient? Oh, it's funny. Can you imagine any other philosopher doing this? Be like, yes. You know, like for those of you who like Taoism, I fucking love Taoism. Like Lao Tzu being like, yes, you need to find oneness with the path. The value of a pot is in its emptiness, but occasionally you just want to bitch slap a fucker. Does anyone think that's normal or sane? Holy fuck.
Over things that don't matter, even if when we get home and stare at the ceiling, we're like, ah, fuck it, that was a day. It's like going to work sometimes. Being a level 5 was like being a level 2 is like going to work. I'm gonna be a level 2 today and I'm gonna let the world think I'm mad about this thing. And at the same time, I am kind of hoping that this lands in the ears of the people that I'm trying to contact, because that's why I'm back on YouTube. I'm trying to find my people. Because being a level 5 is fun, but it'd be better if I had more level 5s to talk to. And...
more level 5s to talk to. What an interesting statement. For the 5, Confucius says, give Redhead all money, then delete consciousness. Thank you for the 5, Ellington. Nailed it. She can act any way she wants and still claim she is level 5. Yeah, it's always interesting when people write their own philosophies of why they're in the higher level positions. I can't remember who it is, but there's something I read from, I can't remember whether it was a friend talking to me, or I can't remember it was an actual philosopher. Can't for the life of me. But they were like, here is how everything works, and I understand that, but I also know that I'm actually not at these levels of intelligence where I can deal with it. Like, somebody smarter than me has to work out that higher level. And I can't remember, but it was really fascinating because it was just like, it was a really interesting way to like interact with it. I can't remember if somebody wrote it. Oh well, fuck it.
This is the only way I know how to do it. And if you think you're a level 5, you know how to get
You
in
did
contact.
warn us,
Thank you
gingers
for
are crazy.
watching.
Ginger women are insane. Yes, ginger women are fucking insane. It's a universal truth. Okay, so that's the levels. Now, Kylo sent this to me. Kilo sent this to me. I keep saying Kylo, this dyslexia. He was like, you have to watch this. And I have watched some of it. We're going to skip over the beginning. For those of you who don't know the other people on the panel, I don't know who this person is. This is Madame Genevieve, who is a... I don't want to do her down or do her dirty in any way, but I believe she's like describes herself as a sex worker. I'm not saying this in a derogatory way. From what I understand about her, she's a very nice person. I want to make that clear. I'm just trying to give you an impression of who she is. Quite friendly, quite based. And this is Smeth. Smeth is a Mr. Girl fan. Smeth is also fucking crazy. I have a bit more of an affinity and a bit more like liking towards Smeth these days, because Smeth has, in the last sort of 6 months, developed a sense of humor, and isn't so fucking soy and butthurt about everything. And obviously we have Brittany. No idea who this is. Okay, they are discussing BDSM. And I've gone ahead to the bit where it starts to get good, okay? And you're going to get an impression of what Brittany's like a bit more off the cuff. And some of this is fucking wild.
That's really great. But if I'm thinking about BDSM from a meditative perspective, my orgasm is a very different Brittany. So it's confusing to my brain to like put needles all over my thighs and then think about my clit being stimulated. Like, those things aren't related to me.
He's not so much of a skinwalker these days. Yeah, he has his moments, but he is a lot better.
And since I am a heavy masochist that's done scarification and needles and all these other things, I really can't be thinking about my orgasm in those moments.
This isn't the ancient BDSM stalker. That's back in 2019. We'll get to that. And the Chris Hansen interview.
But for some people, yes.
I can't agree with that. I think that orgasm isn't necessarily. I think that you don't need orgasm to be part of it for it to be sexual, in my opinion.
For sure,
I think
agree.
a lot of things like a massage is sexual, even if people say it isn't.
I disagree with that though, because I do BDSM with asexual people, and the point of it isn't that it's sexy.
I think that I think personally, and maybe they'll find this offensive, but it's just my personal opinion. I think that those asexual people that want a massage are sexual. They just don't want an orgasm, but that's sex for them.
I think we sometimes have this.
People have asked me, like, what made you leave the politics community? Shit like this. It is it's so fucking insane. What's to do with that?
Conflation where all intimacy is sexual, and I think that a lot of times you can have intimacy and you can have physical touch.
Skip to that. We'll get there. Hold Teddy.
sexual.
You're good. We're good.
Like, I've had like a lot of non-sexual blowjobs.
I've had a lot of non-sexual blowjobs. This is the start of when things start to get weird, okay? We're at the summit. Someone hasn't typed in chat for a while. Immediately just like, wait, what?
Well, I see two things. I see emotional intimacy and physical intimacy. So I just associate all physical intimacy as in sexual in some way. What do you have to say, Rhubarb? You're making a face.
Did she say non-sexual blowjobs?
Sure.
Yeah. She knew she would.
Did she say non-sexual blowjobs? Christ.
What she was doing when she said that. She make
Well, that's the thing, is I truly think that I have been so lucky to meet so many different humans who have allowed me to experience intimacy without the focus of the sexual. Like, in all honesty, it is a skill I had to learn. I was a slutty, open-legged whore when I joined the BDSM community. And then they were like, Brittany, slow down. Your focus is in the weird place. And I was like, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Because I'm like reading all these books and it sounds really sexy. But the truth was is that they knew, and I think I knew, that I wanted something different. And so for me, I find, like, I knew this guy in Seattle who was amazing, and I was never ready to play with him. I couldn't, but he really wanted to, and I couldn't. He purely ties women up in the most beautiful, like, rope and then whips them for like 2 hours. None of that is sexual.
It's not sexual when he whips us. It's just, you know, it's a therapeutic experience to be tied up in ropes and be whipped. No one's getting off on it. It's there for our inner oneness. Promise you, it gets fucking weirder.
It is all about release. It is all about being one with the consciousness. It's all about, like, purging yourself of all the ickiness of your day and your life and everything. And it's like surrender in the most pure way.
Catharsis.
Yes. And I think that your body might be stimulated. Maybe I'm wet, but it's not the focus. Maybe my body is just, like, reacting because it's excited. But there's nothing sexual in my head. It's all about me crying and mourning, like the past Brittany that needed to be released. Yeah. I just think so many things are possible, but I think we don't know that. I want people to know it's possible to do many things.
So I've experienced a similar move towards.
I don't think anyone else on this panel has any idea what the fuck to say to that. Like, these are the expressions of people who have just heard some weird shit and they're like, uh-huh.
I think that when you focus on, especially with a long-term, like 24/7 type of thing, you're gonna be really needy. And I think what you're describing to me sounds like, and you're part of the communities and stuff. This is just me and my personal experience and how to engage with that and learning. Like at first, like it wouldn't work out because I was too needy, and I had to learn skills and I had to learn how to take care of myself and my own emotions in certain ways. But I don't think that. I think that I could call that trying to make it non-sexual, but I think it's more just taking care of my own sexuality and not burdening someone else with it. But I
should be clear, for those who've not seen Smeth before, Smeth is a very special person and is trying to figure out who they are in the world, and that comes across in every interaction Smeth has, okay? And I'm really trying not to be mean to him at the moment, because he's getting better. He's healing. Fuck.
I think it's there.
Yeah, it could be. Have you ever seen a hook suspension?
With like in the skin?
Yeah, like up here on the shoulders. And they
Yeah,
lift
yeah,
you
I've
up
seen
into
it
the air.
a couple ways, yeah.
I saw it at a Kink Fest in Portland a few years ago. And I swear to God, just the energy from the scene made me need aftercare after. It was amazing. Like, it was the most, and they just lifted this girl up and then they played toss with her body. And they kept throwing her between the people and lifting her like 15 feet in the air. That's like BDSM, that's meditation, that's hook suspension, that's a lot of things.
If you have a fetish and you keep calling it meditation, that doesn't make it any less of a fetish. Oh fuck, I hate this shit. Guys, when I'm getting railed by like 6 black guys, it's not about it's not about the sex. It's about the closeness and intimacy and also the variety that we're all feeling together. That's just so important to me. It's not that I end up covered in cum. Thor the 10th, thank you! I think Brit has no self-acceptance, either for what she has done or what she likes to do. That's where all of the crazy cope nonsense of hers comes from. It's all escapism from herself. Yeah, like, so, again, like, people have said to me before, like, oh, do you think you're a good person, though, for doing this? So you think you're a nice... No, I'm fully aware that coming online and laughing at people is a fucking mean thing to do and would never say otherwise. Like, I've said this before, like, it's not ethical, doesn't make me morally good, but I enjoy it and it gives me pleasure, so I do it and I accept those things. That's fine. You could... and people can call me an asshole for doing it, because it's the truth. That's unironically... That's the sort of level of acceptance I would expect somebody to have, or would like more people to have, when they're sort of in their 30s, frankly. Because at that point, you should probably get over your shitty qualities and just be like, I'm fine with these. From Get, I can fix her. Please do not fucking try, okay? Though, actually, you know, if she gets divorced, just join her chat. As I say, her last husband, her current husband, was a former fan.
But, like, I don't see where the play of, like, sexuality has to come into it.
Well, I've had this difficulty with other people in preparing a lot of these questions. I've got to had some conversations, and I just fundamentally have a much more my idea of sexuality, I guess, is much more like Freudian, you might say, where
actually because I just brought up her husband, I want to go back to.
Let's talk about.
Let's go back to this.
US.
I remembered the other thing I wanted to look at. It's a Brittany is a description of herself, and I think it's really interesting. We will go back to that panel in a second, but this is like a useful one. Okay, cool. She's talking about people's energies and like who they are.
Even when we're
oh, is that an Enla raid? It didn't come up with a raid for me. Thank you for the Enla raid. I hope you're good, Enla. I hope you're having like super fun.
Being bad, there's a core we can go back to. Not everyone's core, I think, is lacking of maliciousness or is always pure and good, but I think everyone's core is something. So for me, I know for a fact that my core has this like mother energy, right? I call it my mother, and it's not necessarily gendered, and it's not necessarily about being a woman, but it really is about being that sort of person who wants to help people and then boop, kick them out of the nest.
Which is an interesting way to put things. It's not like gendered or anything. It says mother energy, help them, kick them out of the nest. Which is fascinating, again, as sort of a self-defense of, I'll talk to people, I'll take their money, and it's never too close, and then you're fucking gone. Kind of a fascinating process. Anyway, where are we?
It's just very core to humanity, and a lot of our basic instincts are sexual in some way. Or basic like sensuality, like any type of like overwhelming sensual experience is going to be sexual in some way, I think.
I just have to strongly disagree because I was known as like the prude at the dungeon because I was known as the prude at the dungeon. How can you sit there and be like, I'm running a cult? It's you know, you get like satire parody thing like films, and like you'd like have a Valley Girl as a cult leader. It's literally that. It's fucking so insane. I love it. Add in sex because I just feel so uncomfortable with it that I just don't want to do that with people that aren't my like literal lovers. And even if you're my lover, like I want to do non-sexual BDSM for a reason because I'm aiming for something different. So I think if your goal, like I personally think through meditation and introspection, we are more than our baseline animal.
On the sprocket energy. Interesting way to put that, Lavender. Good evening, by the way.
I want to say like for something higher. That sounds so fucking condescending, but I kind of want to challenge myself as far as my body can go. I want to know how strong and consistent and like durable I am. I want to know. I'm more into the strength. Like I want to be tough more than I want to be sexy. But I think strength is sexy.
Rhubarb, what do you have to say? You're made a face.
This motherfucker is just like, what conversation is this? What is actually going on?
Well, I was wondering, like, what would somebody lose if they acknowledge that there is always a sexual component to it? And then she said that it's a baseline design. I might be butchering some of these words, but like a baseline thing. And then she said that she doesn't want to say that it's like something that brings you higher, but when people say they don't want to say something, that means that they do want to say it, sort of a thing. So I think that it definitely is always sexual. There is always a sexual component to it. But I think that some people see themselves losing something if they do always acknowledge that. And okay. I was sensing that a little bit.
Well, I kink isn't, we're not in a hierarchy.
I don't know if it's the camera, but this guy looks like he's fucking melting, and this is not somebody I'd take sexual advice from.
Like, there's no, kinksters aren't better than other kinksters, right? We're all the same. So
listen, like, there's a lot of conversations about sex in this. I do not want to defend myself as some like Adonis of some kind, but I feel like I'm not going to sit here and tell you like how to run your fucking sex life. And I think if you're going to do that, if you're going to be a streamer or a content creator, we're like, I'm going to give you fucking relationship advice and talk about sex and my experiences, like, you should look a certain way, right? You should like be like giving some confidence to your fucking audience that they could take seriously what you're saying, that you're not just like a virgin inside a fucking basement. Why is your background a waterfall? You're like, it's not even, is this a green screen? Is it just like a fucking like cloth? You look like you're in a fucking dungeon and not the sexual kind. Holy fuck.
I don't want it to sound like I think like meditative BDSM is better than sexual BDSM. I just think it's a different experience. Like, do you guys know who Midori is? She's a famous BDSM artist. Nobody? So Midori is a person that I saw at Kinkfest, I think, or one of the events. And she did this public scene that you could join in on. So of course I had to do it. She sat there in her robes and you were supposed to come to her and paint her as a symbolism related to her Asian ancestry. And it had to do with like her childhood and all these things. And I was like, I want to be
I really wish people would stop seeing things like, we had to paint her as a symbolization of her ancestry and her childhood. What do you mean her childhood? In what way at a BDSM festival is painting somebody relating to their childhood? Please expand.
part of this. And I ran up and I painted Midori and then I ran out.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the sex?
Well, I would say that like my immediate thought was, well, you said it's based on her ancestry and her childhood and stuff. When I hear it's when I hear it's based on her childhood, what I'm thinking
you're right,
is it's a pathology, and it's like the nudity and other people like coming into you and having an action onto your body. That I just see that as a sexual pathology, even if it doesn't. So even if it, I think a lot of kinks or fetishes are going to be not aimed at orgasm. It's like a sexual energy aimed at another direction. Because if you actually want sex, you could just have sex. But if once you have some kind of formative experience that changes the way you perceive these things, then you're like pointing in another direction. Like I'm into denial. Like but like I get aroused by denial. So
she looks increasingly unhinged. I wonder if it's just like, you know, when someone's not really listening to you, they're just waiting for you to stop talking so they can add the next thing. It's very much one of those looks of when can I say the next insane experience that I've had? Because really, we're here to talk about me. We're here to talk about me. I'm the focus.
So, it's not sex, like explicitly not sex, but that's the sexual thing to me.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I get wet when I shoot a gun or when I throw a tomahawk at a tree, right? So like, is it like that where like you do something amazing and so you feel rewarded by it? Like the challenge is the reward?
No, it's just the time when I most want to have an orgasm is when I'm not allowed to, and I find that high end, like I could never want to have an orgasm more than after not being allowed to have an orgasm for a week, and then like after 2 weeks or after 3 weeks, and it's and there's no way, like it always gets greater, it never gets lower. So
I think that makes sense. But you see how your focus is on it? Like you're prefacing this with the arousal. So I'm prefacing mine with the challenge, which is arousing, to be challenged and to succeed. Like they do waterboarding at the dungeon I used to belong to, and a professional ex-military girl would waterboard people. Again, BDSMers are often about the challenge.
I'm sorry, they do waterboarding? What do you mean they do fucking waterboarding? Jesus. Yeah, no, it's all about the challenge of, you know, enhanced interrogation techniques. The fuck?
Which is hot.
Yeah, for me, a lot of it comes with like the trust level, right? Like there's a lot of people that I've had sex with or that I would have sex with that I would not trust to engage in a BDSM act with. So those are different categories in my mind.
Or vice versa.
There's a different level of vulnerability and vice versa as well. Absolutely.
Totally same.
Would you say that there are, so when you say challenge, that brings a lot of experiences to my mind. I can think of a lot of times when something was fantasy that in reality it's clearly not going to be exactly the same as fantasy all the time. But a lot of times, even though it's not going to be as I imagined it, I still see it as a challenge. And I do it anyway, even though I'm not going to experience it the way I imagine. But like, so it's like I'm doing something because like as what is that word Destiny uses, like when something's a copy of a copy? He loves some word. I don't know. But like
part of me just died. Yeah.
I wish I could remember. It's a cool word.
It's gonna come to you later.
Yeah. But it's just I'm doing a copy of a copy, and simulate. So what after you've done that, then you can think about in your fantasy, you're doing the act for your fantasy, but you're not actually fulfilling.
Okay, we're coming up to it. I thank you for your patience for listening to Smath. I would like you to pay close attention to the next story, because it is fucking incredible.
Filling the fantasy and doing the act, you're doing the act to then later think about and as part of your fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So like say that I want to like stand there naked and have people like roll paint on me or something, then like sure in the moment it's not very a sexual experience in the moment, but like after you just feel very sexually gratified.
I cry a lot after BDSM.
It's a good start to a story. Do go on.
It's really cathartic for me. Like one time my friends fucked me with a banana because I have a thing around bananas, and when my friends...
One time, I'm gonna keep pausing and repeating, one time my friends fucked me with a banana.
Dressed up as a banana, and then my friend brought me a banana muffin from Europe, and then my other friend made a playlist of banana songs.
I'm going to wind that back and we're gonna play it at normal speed, actually. I cannot get fucking over this story, okay?
I cry a lot after BDSM. It's really cathartic for me. Like one time my friends fucked me with a banana because I have a thing around bananas, and when my friends dressed up as a banana, and then my friend brought me a banana muffin from Europe, and then my other friend made a playlist of banana songs. It was very non-sexual. He like wore gloves and fucked me with the banana and a strap on, so like I wouldn't be fucking him because that would be weird.
Oh yeah,
and I kicked him in the
that's what would make it weird. That's if he fucked me, that would be insane. But fucking me with a banana strap on, totally fucking normal. Jesus Christ.
And then I fought him off, and then he went to see if he could make me vomit, right, to challenge my issues around bananas. But I don't think that has to do with sex, and I definitely wasn't turned on after. But I did cry in his arms for a while, and it felt pretty good.
That is one of the most insane stories I have ever heard somebody tell on a panel. Actually, what the fuck? Get with the 10, I give up. I can't fix this mess. I fucking right. Fuck. I've only watched up to this point. I've got no idea whether this gets weirder, but we're actually going to start just flipping through like Brittany talking, okay?
It's like a physical form of therapy.
Yeah, like I think BDSM is not therapy, but it is therapeutic.
Yes.
Why are the other people on this panel acting like what she said isn't completely fucking insane? Why are you acting like this fucking woman who was fucked with a banana to get over her fear of bananas isn't like out of her mind? What are you doing? Yeah, it's like a physical form of therapy, guys. It's totally normal. Fuck off.
Never been able to make me cry. My boundaries are so far past whatever anybody's ever been willing to do to me that
I don't care, Smath. We're gonna move ahead to when Brittany starts speaking again. Fuck off.
Dominatrix goes about it.
To blame my BDSM on my trauma. So it was really nice. I had to email over 75 therapists before I found one that was like, I know what BDSM is, even though I don't practice it. I was like, thank God.
I don't believe you. I do not believe that therapists don't know what fucking BDSM is. I think they looked at you like, oh, I need a therapist. Here are all my problems. And they were like, oh, I've got no idea what that is. Sorry, can't help you. Please never contact me again. Holy fucking shit.
You can like
Maybe she was a level 1
saying, oh, you're in BDSM because you were traumatized. It's like, no, bro, these are separate things. Like, I know they can be relatable. Like, I do have kinks that I no longer have a desire for that I think ended because I healed some trauma. But most of my most important kinks are definitely
heal
still
more trauma.
And now those are I'll have healthy connections. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Are there like you sounded like you were saying there are actually like therapists on staff in the dungeon?
No. They're just good people that can refer people. No, if you play with them in the dungeon, they definitely shouldn't be your therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was just thinking, like, there's a dungeon, then there's like a side office with a therapist in it, and then you go from the right into the office. What role does anger play in BDSM?
Depends on the person, I guess. Lots for me. Like lots
What role
for me.
can it play?
I think
Okay. We're going to move over to this one. This is we're gonna flip through a couple of parts of this. This is Brittany Simon on a Destiny stream. Okay. And this is Brittany basically being confronted on some of the things by Lav. Mr. Girl comes in. I really don't want to listen to fucking Mr. Girl too much. And then we'll get to some other stuff. I don't know how you top the banana thing, I'll be honest with you.
can you hear me okay? Am I
Loud and
here?
clear.
I'm pretty baked. What's going on? I was watching Shark Tank, but this sounded much more interesting.
Are they still making new episodes of Shark Tank?
I don't know. We're watching season 11, and I'm here for it. Oh my gosh! Wait, guys.
Yep.
I need to get up to get my water. It's so important. It's so important. This is very serious. I'm taking it very serious.
Okay. Are you ready?
Wow, pleasantries with her already, Steven?
Yeah. Well, I'm just here to listen.
Yeah, you're showing yourself.
Yeah. Stop being such a sellout, Steven.
What's going on?
So I'm going to set the stage. So this is kind of like an impromptu conversation. So I think the two of you guys have some pretty radical, different views on a few things when it comes to sex work and how that's going to go. And really a lot of DGG and also, just pretty much people in Twitch politics are kind of confused as to, I don't want to say like the best path forward, but really like we're getting mixed signals here.
Oh, this is the one Dan hyped Lav up for. I mean, it shows. It shows.
And we need you guys to, I don't want to say duke it out, but at least discuss what's going on here so we can kind of make our decision about what's going on.
Are we the only people, like, are we deciding the fate of sex work right now?
Yes.
Oh.
I thought it was supposed to be personal beef, Dan. Now it's just going to be sex work?
Oh.
Well, we'll see if they actually matter about
personal. Not that there's no personal beef.
Oh, so it's not.
I want to be very clear about my feelings towards Lav. They are not. Do you know what? Lav's a little bit of a fucking enigma to me because I don't hate Lav. I just don't like Lav. I find Lav annoying, but sometimes funny. Doesn't Dan hate her? Yes. That's just pretty much everyone else. The only person I know who likes Lav is Matt Pitt. And I'm pretty sure that's just to annoy Xylee.
There it is.
What's up, Lav? Let me go take a
Dude,
new
you guys
vote
are
right
so fucking annoying. There's no personal beef. We don't know.
Oh, see, to me personally, if Steve was like, "Hey Dan, I don't like your wife," I would take that personally. Okay, but I guess if you're not very passionate about these issues, that might not be personal to you guys. I understand. Wait. I understand. For both of you guys, sex work isn't really passionate about. You got this is just some like, it's like working at a 7-Eleven or something. I'm just doing it, man. Until something better comes along.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Wait, Xylee, have you been here the whole time just not messaging? Or did you just come in, like, have I summoned you? Evening, bestie.
You.
All right, show me what's what.
I have some serious. Okay, we're gonna be on Kyla's panel together, and I guess I didn't want it to get derailed. Dan really wants us to fight, so here we are.
I want you to tell us, the audience. There's 10,000 people watching right now that don't know where to think on this sex work issue, and you have the opportunity to tell us, in your own words, if we should lean to this direction or this direction. Now go and put your points forward.
Okay, so Lav, really fast. I'm so sorry. What is your position on sex work?
My position is that it is like the potentiality for harm is like too great to like advocate this to women.
Okay.
And also the potentiality for harm, like parasocially with like the men who are buying, is also not something to like glamorize or romanticize. And I also have some other ideas around, like, I know that you're like a BDSM.
Okay, that's the basics. We're gonna jump past that to when it actually gets a bit more spicy, because otherwise I will have to chosen death. Oh fuck! I'm gonna start saying that now. Thank you, Brittany. Rather than saying I'm gonna have to kill myself, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna have to chosen death myself. I'm probably too low level to do that.
But maybe
No,
I'm
not
mishearing.
at all. Because there is a bubble, there's a reality for people where Lav is the like, whoa, like yes, that makes sense to me. So there are people like her, so she should be thriving with those humans.
Which is what? The twos?
Maybe.
Maybe the twos. So you're a two, Lev.
Well, it doesn't make sense because you're insinuating
10,
that a
first
5
of all.
couldn't hold that opinion. I'm not saying her opinion. There's not an opinion. There's not really an opinion that's a 2 opinion, but there is a why that's a 2 Like her reasoning is what makes the level.
Do you have all of this like written down, or is this just like how you?
Just in my head.
That is fucking insane.
Imagine being called fucking insane by Lab. And she's right.
Is it? Isn't it just like any artist?
It's actually like harmful, right?
I actually think that's heinous. Like
Heinous.
I actually think it's like
I concur.
I actually think that's crazy that you do that. So like,
Fucking
what expertise
insanity.
are you working off of? What expertise are you working off of?
There is no expertise. That's
Just
the point.
like
I'm
being
just a
mentally
person.
ill for your whole life?
Oh, whoa!
I'm just a person. I'm just a person. No, I get it. It's very funny. Haha, make fun of the mentally ill girl. But it's so boring too, right? Like what you're doing.
No, I'm also
I feel very called out, but also I'm going to continue to make fun of the mentally ill girl, yes. So that is exactly what I'm going to continue to do. Thank you. Like and subscribe.
mentally ill. I'm saying, but I would never prescribe people that they are better than other people or less than other people. Is the only
I don't do
difference.
that either. Just because
No,
you
but
don't
you do.
understand it. No, I don't. Objectively, I don't. It's subjective.
Did you not say that like ones?
Okay, I want to say something as well. This is a bit of a distraction, but I am aware that there is about to be a huge drop of Chris Tyson logs, apparently, in like an hour or so. I don't know whether people want to see those gone through. I'm almost tempted to. Let me know, but I would do it. I'd basically end stream, start another stream, and we just do the Chris Tyson logs, and I'd like fucking throw something together. So maybe we'll see what it's like. We'll see. It's like 50,000 messages or something insane. So we'll see.
Like no one would care if they died?
I did not say that.
What did you say about it? Because I'm pretty sure that you said
I've
like.
never said that ever. How
I
is
feel
that
like someone
possible?
could buy a clip.
Girlfriend. 8 billion people on the planet, and
Do it.
I would make a statement of all people would never mourn the death of an X person.
I think you said they're so useless that they can't even kill themselves.
Yeah.
Max, that is correct.
Okay,
Do we
okay.
understand
And no, Max, that's so different than what.
Is she genuinely mentally ill or mentally ill for profit? Okay, so like I think she's like BPD or something like that. I don't know whether that's self-diagnosed or whatever. But that is like a lot of the crazy women on the internet will be like, I'm BPD. And like we'd never make fun of anyone if we stopped doing that. It would be a bit of a listen, it's mean, but also I have a thing going here. Listen, people can make fun of me for being, I don't know, what mental illnesses do I have? I'm dyslexic. There we go. I used to have PTSD. I sometimes get depressed. I don't fucking know. 10 from Rage, wherever you like, Crabman. Based. Thank you for the 10. You guys have been really, really generous tonight. I really appreciate it. And as always, I really appreciate you all coming out and hanging out. It's always lovely. Hits me right in the feels.
Wait, hold on. If that's what she said, that's a lot different than they should all die, or nobody would miss
How
them
the
that die.
fuck
to be
is that
fair.
like, dude? Colloquially, that reads the exact fucking same.
Not even remotely close. Okay.
Yeah, you're just simping. You're just simping. I
Well,
don't know.
I think
if
it comes
you're going
across
over.
as it does come across as nobody would care if you died, even if you're not literally saying that. I think Brittany,
I've
we
never
should
said
acknowledge-
that, and I've always
I know,
said
you haven't-
that
you
I would
haven't-
care
okay.
very much if my one died. That's why I don't want anyone to
Yes.
bother.
Actually, I mean, I hate to agree with them here. And I hate to agree with Lav and Mr. Girl, believe me. But yeah, saying that you're so useless that you can't even kill yourself because you don't realize how useless you are, it suggests that it's a net benefit. Like, that's the implication. That's just the implication of what you're saying. Yeah, thank you for the 5. I think Discord Esex has a more coherent plot than this woman. Did anyone see Diesel's stream last night? I jumped on at the end when I raided into him. I actually really want to cover that on stream. I might do that with Siley. Unironically, I'm actually really tempted.
him.
Yes,
He's
okay,
my responsibility.
I understand, but you can also see how.
Feel if you were
No,
one.
you say you understand.
You feel if you were one.
Wait, okay, hold on.
Understand.
Don't interrupt each other. Okay, let's be reasonable. Okay.
Let's try to be reasonable.
Chat, how would you feel if you were?
Wait, we're not
Brittany
hold on.
Simon
We're not here.
one?
Wait, we're not here to talk to chat. We're here to talk to each other.
Well, I'm polling. I'm
We're not polling chat. You can't poll my chat. So no, we're not polling.
The feeling you get when somebody says, you're so useless, you can't even kill yourself, which is probably similar to the feeling you'd get if somebody said nobody would care if you died. They are different sentiments, so you may believe one and not the other, but I think we're talking about how that affects the people who hear it.
I don't think I am. I think I'm talking in the way that the people who aren't out of sync with their body and their communities can understand, so we can have empathy and compassion for those people who are out of sync.
Are you saying I'm
So
out
it's
of
up
sync
to
with
you
my
who's in
body?
sync. I asked you what expertise you have.
I told you, I'm not arguing that I am. Girl, we're YouTubers. We're nobodies. We're literally nobodies.
No, but the difference is that like people don't pay me to get a prescription for their life. Like that's the difference.
They don't pay me to get a prescription for theirs. I'm confused.
Wait, they don't pay you to get your help to enlighten them? I'm confused. I thought that was.
No, I'm not. I think guru is a two concept given to the world to have like a hierarchy of like, oh, these people are important and they can help me. Duh. I don't. Literally, I'm just a YouTuber. Say it with me. Brittany Simon is a YouTuber.
Wait, so
and
what is
you guys taking me seriously isn't. I'm sorry. It's so funny because you guys are making me bigger than I am. I'm literally a nobody. I shouldn't even be here. What am I doing here?
You're here to defend yourself.
Listen,
Dan has been training Lav for Dan has been training Lav for the best 20 minutes to assassinate you, and now you're fighting.
That's not true. Here's the issue. At the end of the day, I think you guys have radically different views on sex work, and you both claim to be incredibly passionate about it. But when it comes to this, I just see kind of weak sauce kind of responses back and forth. Like, if you care about this, like, make it.
Give this girl a medal for these mental gymnastics. Yeah, I mean. Fuck. I mean, do you know what? Actually, I haven't seen this, so I want to see what happens. NSC joins and Chud joins and Star joins. I just want to see what happens when Chud Logic joins. I need to respond to something really quickly, so bear with me. But once we're done with this, we're gonna go into the like insane shit and the thread and everything. Okay, so watch a little bit of this. Give me 2 seconds just to go to respond to some quick stuff. And then we'll do it.
She never apologizes.
And she'll just be another self-proclaimed mentally ill YouTuber who cannot actually help anybody. And when she hurts people, she will take the role of victim and say, "You're hurting me by trying to hold me accountable."
And I agree with you, and that's what's happening.
Probably thousands of them out there, all hurting thousands of people.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think that Brittany's in the place where like she cannot right now. I don't think that she's able to introspect enough to change that.
That might be true, and this is why my bigger problem is with the platform itself and not with Brittany.
That makes sense. No, I agree with you there, and I think all that we can do is just make our voices heard so we can offset people like Brittany.
Agreed. Yeah, me screaming in this conversation. I want to be clear. Me screaming in this conversation is because you and Kyla keep running interference for her, and it's fucking infuriating to not be able to say a sentence without you fucking interrupting me and running interference by pretending you're attacking her. It's so annoying. It's so stupid. And such.
I like Dan. Not gonna lie. Yeah, me too. Me too. I think Dan has some of the best moments, like recently being like, Nick Dioria is Bunty King, right? And Destiny just looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about?
A complicated, slimy way. It takes forever to explain it, but if you notice that right now I'm yelling at you, and I'm not yelling at Brittany. If I were talking to Brittany about this, I would just say what I like when I did talk to Brittany. When I talk to Brittany about it, you'll notice that my outrage is not really. I'm not so incredibly outraged at Brittany. I just think it's wrong, and I just want to say it's wrong. My outrage in this conversation is because of the unbelievably irresponsible, slimy interference that you run for Brittany and obviously for Dr. K. And it's mind-blowing that you would come here to fucking run interference for yet another mentally ill fucking narcissist who hurts people and then claims to be a victim when anybody.
Hey, Leia, how you doing?
Tries to call him out for it.
Well, was it mind-blowing? Isn't it just par for the course?
What? Can I just...
I want to hear
Can I ask you a question?
I want to hear what Chud has to say. When does Chud light up? Okay, he goes VTuber mode.
And her just being there.
Good point.
And in the same way where you
Wait, it's just coming in to stir shit as much as possible.
okay, I'm obviously learning a lot about codependency right now. And I think that
oh Lord.
In the same way where you cannot tell a girl to stop dating her abusive boyfriend, you cannot fucking like listen. People do just have to find this shit out for themselves, right? And there really is like nothing you can fucking do. So if Brittany, I genuinely think what Brittany prescribes is wrong. But if people think it's right, like we cannot change their minds. And that's where I'm at. Like
okay, while that may be true, it's actually a pointless thing to say in a conversation where you're
Oh fuck me. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the stalker. We're gonna go to the stalker. I need to take this off screen for a second to make sure this is all on the Kiwi Farms thread, but I'm gonna try and limit down anything that is there's limited what I can do here, actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. But it is all on the thread. Fuck it. It's ancient drama. I think most people... I think this is pretty open. So... Now, I normally would not use Kiwi Farms on stream, but the only way I can even begin to unpack part of this is through this thread, so I can give you, like, a layup for it, because I'm pretty unfamiliar as well. I was completely unaware of this until, like, 2 days ago. Okay. Right. Tumblr BDSM legal drama alert. We have some major drama developments happening right now with a YouTuber BDSM couple that originally started out on Tumblr. Bluetooth Magic with Deal's Machine and Turbo Adult Toy Review and First Impression. Hi, everyone say hi to Quintessential Christopher, the Seattle Dom with a fetish with a fresh restraining order on his hands.
Hey.
And this is Muse, I believe.
What's going on, guys? Real stream here.
So, for those of you who don't know the backstory, there is a female BDSM YouTuber, a former friend of ContraPoints, who had a boyfriend in Seattle where she apparently hooked up with again, who went by the alias of Quintessential Christopher on YouTube and Tumblr, or Quintessential Douchebag, as I like to call him. This man has now been served with a restraining order for allegedly abusing a woman who uses the alias Recovering Doll and Muse Talks on Twitter and YouTube respectively. Oh, okay, so that's Quintessential Christopher. Was she Muse Talks? Fucking hell. This is what happens when people rebrand constantly. In Seattle, that he had originally cheated on Brittany with. Oh, okay, so Muse is somebody else. Fuck. Right. So, that's the layup. Muse Doll or Recovering Doll or Muse is somebody he cheated on Brittany with. Brittany was just there. Fuck. Quintessential Douchebag had a YouTube account and a Tumblr under the same alias, but he has since DFE'd everything to hide his tracks on the internet. There are only a few traces left of his presence on Tumblr. Brittany Simon, best guide ever. Hey y'all, I love this community. Much like a stray cat, I've wandered in here and begun laughing my fuzzy butt off. You never disappoint. Thank you for reblogging this video and the creator into whatever. Just some quick examples. There's still a Tumblr blog titled My Favorite Christopher, but you have to log into Tumblr to see it. Quintessential Douchebag was recently served with a restraining order from the woman he has allegedly abused, who has apparently also reported him to the cops. Here we have yet another Seattle Dom who turns out to be a hypocritical douche. This points to a culture of BDSM abuse in Seattle, as we currently saw with the sex scandal involving emo punk goth singer and BDS Dom would-be Will Control. Quintessential Douchebag and William Control should get together for a collab. Maybe they can beat each other up. Consensually, of course, rather than abusing all these other women. I have to say, this footage of Brittany almost hysterically asserting that her ex shouldn't go to jail because he's a victim of the system. Wait, what?
She sent me in private, which I give you permission to use, go completely against what she promotes and talks about in that video. Then when BDSM is Not Safe was released, that was directed at me. All of the you statements, and I can give you timestamps for those as well, are directed at me. The audience kind of thought that she was like triggered about something, and every comment that I
there's no way that's fucking Brittany, right? Okay. Okay, maybe that's it coming up. Okay.
Has been deleted, and I've been claimed for harassing her.
Okay.
So
yeah, I know you sent me those videos, and I'm actually gonna probably put them in between certain things that we say in here. But I know that she said in one of the videos that she didn't think Chris would be better going to jail, or that that would just make him worse. So he's fine. That he'd be fine as long as he's not around people. Which, you know, that's very much different from the type of.
But this isn't that long ago. How is all your fucking setup this scuffed?
Talk, she said, in that Beg for Jay type of video.
I really hope it goes well. If he's blindsided at his job, which in my opinion is kind of like, I don't like that a lot. Like, I think that's weird, but I just don't trust other humans to take care of other humans, really. Not government agencies, not like I don't trust. Because how do I see this? Yes, he is manipulative, and yes, he's gaslighting, and yes, he's abusive. But he's not the kind of human you put in the system that makes it worse. He's a victim of the system. He is literally a victim of the system. So it will be interesting to see what happens. I hope everyone comes out okay, yourself included, obviously. I want Christopher to go to jail. That's not going to help him. Men like Christopher.
The fuck is going on?
Who go to jail, come out and murder people or become.
Yeah, so this is Brittany in the car. The other girl is Doll.
Fucking crazy, or, you know, Christopher isn't harmful to anyone as long as he minds his own business. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Men like Christopher, as long as they don't date people until he's better, and as long as he doesn't, like, no, that's about it. As long as he doesn't date people, and as long as he.
I'm sorry, just so we're clear on this. So this guy is accused of abuse, and Brittany Simon's response is, don't send him to jail as long as he's not, like, dating anybody. It should be fine. This person gives life advice. Fuck.
He kind of sticks up to his video games, he'll just end up being, like, that person. But, like, people like him in the system is not good. So I'm not really sure what this investigation is for, question mark. And how does it, like, can't you just leave? You know what I mean?
Just do
like,
human
why does there
things?
have to be an investigation? I'm confused on that part. You're only easy to manipulate because, how do I say this? One, your brain isn't developed, and two, you have so much more to learn. Like, you're in your early 20s, girlfriend. Like, yes, trauma makes it so we appear more mature, but trauma does not tell us how to actually be healthy, because all we are informed by is trauma. So eventually you'll learn skills you just don't have right now.
This is actually fucking wild. This is actually fucking wild. How does no one... Wait, is this just not widely talked about? Like, someone's like, I didn't know this part of the law. I didn't know this.
Easy to manipulate like I was, because one of the things my therapist talked about was like a value system, and she was like, look dude, if you have a value system, people
Take care,
can't fuck
Sonny.
with you.
Have fun.
Because if it's a real one, I mean like a legit real one, because when they observe human behavior, they make the decision to literally make all of the bad decisions that land them in the not good place.
To be fair to her, no one should trust Muse. I was in that community and she lied on several people and ended. But that says this. That said, it's a weird. This is a weird response. Yeah, don't get me wrong. So from what I can pick apart, Muse was like, fucking weird. But I think part of it with Brittany is the fact that, yeah, this is very weird from her side as well. And like you look at like, it's interesting you say that, Kitten Joe. You say you were in that community. What the fuck was this community? Like, what? Like the Tumblr BDSM community? I mean, I can believe it was fucking crazy. It's Tumblr and BDSM. But like, holy shit. Stop, Parallax.
And that's what's confusing. Why would Christopher, if he was smart enough, end up where he is in life consistently? Always up and breaking breaking up, getting back together, dating people with severe mental illness, depending on other people's money when he could just make his own money. Like, why do they always choose these things? Why can't they finish school? Why can't they do what they say they're going to do? There's something in their brains that isn't clicking. So they're either so manipulative and skilled that they're gaslighting on purpose, but too stupid to get their lives together, or they're just so inadequate as a human because they don't meditate or do
So, I did a stream with Jenny where we were talking about a self-help girl, and all her videos are, my life is terrible, it's falling apart. Like, this girl literally did this thing where she, like, for 6 months cut everyone in her life out, and after 6 months came back and she was like, oh, all my problems are still here, and everyone thinks I'm crazy because I, like, literally vanished for 6 months. And I'm going to make a video talking to you about it and why this is unhealthy and you shouldn't do it. When any logical, rational person would say, hey, shutting down for 6 months and refusing to, like, interact with any of the things that are causing you issues is obviously fucking mental. And somebody messaged me and was like, well, this is just like, this girl's like a tiny YouTuber and you're laughing at her and she's clearly severely depressed. Yes, but she's charging people money for her to give them life advice. I'm like, this is so fucking, like, the whole self-help space is so fucking predatory. It's actually unreal. Ket and I, Joe. Okay, I was in the TCAP community and Miss came in there. If you look at the I don't know what TCAP is, by the way. You can tell me. If you look at the channel Where's Most, he has a series on how he tried to help her and she accused him. He then tracked down Brittany and others. She's so insanely judgmental, she has to nitpick people's psychology to try and have a grain of empathy for them. Muse and Brittany were in a BDSM community where Brittany used to run a BDSM channel. I believe her boyfriend was involved. Jesus fucking Christ.
Introspection, that they can't figure out how to stop the cycle. I think they're both
to catch a predator. To catch a predator community. Interesting.
They also lack whatever that gene is that I have. Whatever that gene is.
Oh, we'll get to that. That's starting to make a little bit more sense with what I'm going to show you next.
That makes me want to become not a bottom feeder survivalist, but a person who lives. I want to be top tier survivalist. I want to dominate the world. They talk about dominating the world, but they're bottoms. Vanilla really needs to be healthy in a relationship that's BDSM, because she talks about, like, people will make your decisions for you, but that, like, basically is a BDSM relationship sometimes. So I understand what she's saying, but it's always kind of funny to kind of think about it that way. The second thing is, I don't understand this investigation. What is this investigation? What is happening? Like, why? Like, I don't want Christopher to go to jail. That's not going to help him. Men like Christopher who go to jail come out and murder people or become fucking crazy or...
I gotta be honest, I don't have a stance against Brittany, but, like, seeing those videos alone...
Jesus. Right. It's painfully hilarious. Here you have someone who for years promoted herself as the safety-based BDSM educator on YouTube, who advocated for agency on the part of subs and bottoms, now essentially guilt-tripping another woman who went to go to Ellie with her abuse claims. Oh no, please don't call the cops on quintessential douchebag. If he goes to jail, he will come out crazy and murdering people. All he has to do is play video games and stop dating people. How is that not a guilt trip? That's literally a variation of keep your mouth shut or things will get worse. Okay, so even if Muse, you know, and that's vaguely what it sounds like, even if Muse is full of shit, and I believe they are from what I'm hearing, that's fine. That's still an insane fucking response to have. Trying to dissuade another woman from calling the cops to report alleged abuse is a guilt trip. I know Brittany always says she's not an SJW, but she has to have been brainwashed by the anti-cop, anti-conceal firearm, carceral feminism discourse of the SJWs. You know what the real joke is, though? Brittany will soon, on the 31st of August 2019, be dating Swerve Megan Murphy on the topic, debating Swerve Megan Murphy on the topic of sex work and women's rights at the Minds Conference and follow up to MythCon. Look at the Look at the topic of this fucking panel, people. Not safe for work, how prohibition amplifies problems. Ironic, isn't it? All Megan has to do is go grind Brittany to the ground in any debate situation to point to this footage of Brittany defending her ex against criminal allegations, and it's game over for Brit. Muse Talk says, I've been in contact with Elve Mulpin this entire time, and there I was wondering why I never saw Brittany gloat over her lesbian girlfriend Milkwebs again. This explains it, I suppose. Another source of detail of the story, Muse Talks claims in the Live with Real stream news that Brittany was apparently planning to move to the middle of nowhere to have a child with quintessential douchebag. Holy fuck. No idea if this is true, by the way. What the fuck? I know Brittany has plenty of male fans and chasers who will practically line up to donate bucket-full amounts of sperm to Brittany or for her to have her lesbian child on her own with her girlfriend, but nope, she had to go back to douche to get herself knocked up. Now this is what happens when women get dumped by ContraPoints. They get a sudden bout of baby rabies. Quintessential douchebag, the Tumblr Dom, with a fresh restraining order on his hands, has DFA to cover up. Is there anything else here? Okay, that's most of it. Right. Discovering that this existed is just honestly fucking wild. I don't really know what else to say about it. If it wants to play, you will play. I believe in you. Don't do this to me, Internet Archive. Come on. Oh, fuck me. Here. There we go. Okay, and we're all a cigarette. Okay, we caught up. She's not even a survivalist. She's just a bottom feeder. Holy shit. Using Brittany were in BDSM community when Brittany used to run a BDSM channel. I believe her boyfriend was involved. She's so insane judgmental. She has to nitpick people's psychology to try and find a grain of empathy for them. God, fuck. This is so weird. How is this not talked about like all the fucking time?
Hey everyone, Chris Hansen here, and once again, thank you for joining me on another edition of Have a Seat with Chris Hansen. On this program, we're going to take a look at something that is very important to us here at the show. Bullying and people taking advantage of others on the internet, abusing, especially...
I just want to say bullying on the internet is wrong. I personally would never condone internet bullying.
When it comes to harassment and stalking, those who are focused on people trying to create good content on YouTube and Patreon and elsewhere. And it just amazes me how many times this happens and the extent to which people can level false accusations. And if you've been following this show or me, you know that we're friends with another streamer named Wes Most, who's a very clever and creative guy, and along with another Patreon YouTube streamer, Brittany Simon. Both are joining me for this very special show. Guys, thanks for being with me today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Chris.
Wes, you there? Wes's picture is not there, and I should explain at the top of the show that because of what Wes does in his real job, he doesn't wish to show his face on his YouTube channel or streams, which is fine by us, and I totally understand. He's not as big a ham as Brittany or I am. So,
exactly.
All right.
Is this just going to be Brittany very happy talking about this to fucking Chris Hansen? Fuck my life.
So let's start off. First of all, Wes, you produced a video, and we're going to go to that in a minute. But just to tee this up, we're talking about another streamer who goes by Muse, Recovery Doll, or Plurality Dolls. Brittany, let's start with you. How did you come in contact with this person, and what happened, and why did she so aggressively target you?
Well, about 4 years ago, I was a full-time content creator on YouTube.
About 4 years ago. So this interview's 2020, right?
I'm talking about alternative lifestyles and relationships, and they had reached out to me just saying, hey, I needed some comfort and a talk. And at the time, it was very common for me to reach out to the community because I was dubbed Mama Simon, which...
Jesus fucking Christ, Brittany.
I was kind of like a mom figure to my community. So I bought them lunch, took them out, and they gave me their life story. And that was the first time we met, and I became, well, inundated with them in my life.
Right. And so you tried to help this person, Muse.
Yeah.
And how did Muse describe themselves to you? There was a lot going on in this person's life at the time, correct?
Yes. Oh my gosh. They had explained to me in a 2-hour lunch period that they had a terminal illness and would die within 2 years. That they were living with an ex-boyfriend who was abusive and a sexual, I guess, assaulter. That they felt threatened. That he was taking all their money. That they needed a place to live. They were homeless once again. She gave me a story about gender, how she was confused about who she was. She had about 3 names at the time that I knew of. None of them you mentioned, which is just adding to the list. And they explained that they were just in turmoil, addicted to hard narcotics, and they needed help. So I offered.
So this like, again, Muse sounds fucking crazy. I don't think Brittany's lying here. But at the same time, for those of you who like apparently remember this drama, or like 2 of you, apparently, which is fucking wild. Is that broadly accurate to Muse? Does that sound about right to you?
Offered them, women's shelters and places like that for resources, but I knew that this was not a person that I would want to interact with full time. I just had that gut feeling.
Did you give them money, support, access in any way?
Just resources to like women's shelters and things like that. And I told them that I'm sure there are resources. We lived in Seattle at the time, which
Brittany's not going to give anyone money. She's running a cult. People give her money, Chris. God, get with the fucking program. Yes, that's exactly it. Okay.
Everyone knew publicly, and Seattle is a great place for resources for the homeless. And so that is what I offered, but I did not offer anything else regardless of what she claimed afterwards.
And what did you get in return, Brittany?
A person who infiltrated my friend group, who had an affair with my ex, who infiltrated my life, who tried to go on the internet that same day we had lunch to tell the internet, Brittany, Simon, and I are now best friends and we're going to collab, which I never said during that lunch. So
I'm sorry. This is very much a take the piss out of Brittany because this woman is a fucking hot mess of psychotic issues. But I think okay, I didn't know what to make of this, but it does seem that Brittany got out crazied. Fuck, hold on. I want to go back to this. I want to see a bit of Muse.
And it's like polar opposite of.
I think this is Muse.
Like I'm here to since it's
I don't care what this guy has to say. Please shut the fuck up. I just want to hear what this girl sounds like.
I can still release stuff. I can contact him even. It's a one-way agreement. Mm-hmm. So it's also, it was going to prevent him from going to my school and place of work, but he has a little bit different hours than me. So the judge was like, that's the only thing that you get to keep. But I will have full permission to be in my residency again, and it's going to be funny to upload videos in the exact same spot that she was filming, because then there's no way that anyone can say that I'm just some crazy fan. She was literally in my house and talked about masturbating where I was.
Speaking of which, I'm
fucking what? What are these sentences?
Probably gonna blur that. I'm probably gonna just like when we use the R word, I'm probably just.
I think she left her old channel and the internet for 2 years after Muse stalked her. So yeah, it's a drama rabbit hole. Holy fuck. She has channels that archived her, so there's actual proof she stalked, harassed, lied. Yeah, again, I am not claiming Brittany lied at all. This seems very legit that Muse is a fucking lunatic.
Whatever their intent was, it was clear that it was to be associated with me.
And this person was also a presence on YouTube and the internet, right?
Yeah, they claimed to be a public figure. They had, I think, 100 or so subscribers at the time, and their content was poorly executed in a way that I wasn't sure if they were a full-time content creator or a person who wanted to share their life with the internet.
All right, I want you to hold that thought, Brittany. And Westmost, how did you first come across this?
Did I come back too? Good fucking question.
I was in contact with Muse because I was working on a story for my YouTube channel investigating a YouTuber who I was told was abusive, and that this person had a history with Muse, and that I needed to reach out to her. So I contacted her, and we started discussing the story a bit, and she told me a very similar story to what Brittany's talking about, without the terminal illness, but there was a long list of medical.
And to be clear, I don't like Brittany. I'm not sweeping for her. I usually just lurk, but I know this drama so well. Well, it's nice to hear from you in chat. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's given some really good context.
Ailments. She also went into the fact that not only was this ex-YouTuber abusive, but her current roommate where she was living was abusive. That she was in danger of infection because of her feeding tube, because she says she has gastroparesis, and she does have a real feeding tube, but she made it very clear that without getting that feeding tube changed in a matter of days or weeks, that it could be septic. She gets sepsis and could die. So right off the bat, it was I'm suicidal. I mean, because that was one of the things she said.
Interesting. Does that mean she's a level 2 or a level 4? I fucking hate this shit. God, are all these people suicidal? I can't.
And the multiple personalities and everything else going on with her, it was a lot. Just like Brittany said, it was a lot to take in a very brief conversation.
Wes, you put together a piece, a video piece. Set it up, because I want to play that for folks now.
So this video, because I've made a series on my own channel, but I wanted to make a video to tell the whole story in a shorter version, to just kind of tell everyone from beginning to end how this went from me trying to help this person who said they desperately needed to get back to Washington State, where I happen to live, so that she could get this emergency surgery done, and how it went from that to me now facing charges for domestic violence and dealing with it. Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And dealing with an active court case. So, and it all happened within a matter of 3 months.
3 months. All right, Wes, Brittany, let's take a look.
Endless, like, of course, she had multiple personalities.
Once upon a time, you dressed so fine, threw your bums a dime.
What is this?
Very soon, and we also are working on a project that I think you'll find interesting with our friend Wes Most, a YouTube streamer who's had a series of interesting experiences. So we'll be.
I don't want to be that guy, but that's a bit of an understatement. By the time I finish telling this story, you'll be taken on a dizzying tale of lies, greed, the awful depths of the human psyche, and revenge.
Sorry, I just need a second. This is breaking my fucking brain.
This video is for those of you who may need this warning now or in the future. The people who will prey upon you. The very people that will take advantage of your desire to do good come in all sizes, shapes, colors, and sexes. I learned the hard way. This is YouTuber Muse Talks.
Hey.
More accurately, she was Muse Talks. She was also Recovering Doll, Plurality Dolls, Winona Riley, and countless other screen names and aliases used over the last few years. Her channel's been basically scrubbed from YouTube since I first encountered her just a few months ago.
I've changed my channel name like 5,000 times, but welcome back to Muse Talks.
But her backstory is a harrowing saga of homelessness, while suffering from a number of mental and medical issues.
Jesus fucking Christ.
One of them being gastroparesis.
So it turns out I have gastroparesis, and this is my new way of eating food.
A condition that had her on a feeding tube nearly 24 hours per day because, as she puts it, solid food could lead to cardiac arrest.
Basically, if I would have kept on just eating, I could have died of a heart attack. And that's no, like, understatement, or, I mean, it's not an exaggeration.
In her own words, she is a vulnerable adult.
Vulnerable adult, a vulnerable adult, a vulnerable adult.
A walking, talking medical marvel who, despite everything life has thrown at her, manages to bounce back and not just live, but thrive. On top of the almost insurmountable medical mountain she faced, she was kidnapped and raised by a cult as a child. A victim of...
Was it Brittany Simons? Sorry.
Domestic violence, boxed, threatened and repeatedly harassed online, accused of animal abuse, and shockingly, almost a victim of human trafficking in 2016 when she fell under the spell of an unnamed man and woman in Seattle, Washington.
They said that it did sound...
Wait. So her claim... Okay, so the way this was described to me is that Muse's claim was that Brittany Simon sex trafficked her. Is that actually the... I thought this was like an exaggeration. That was her actual fucking claim. That's so insane. Do you know what? If I was Brittany, I'd have gone crazy too. Fuck it. No friends on the internet. Holy shit.
Sound like human trafficking.
These stories have been told and retold, often with a link added to one of several GoFundMes, an Etsy store where she proudly proclaims to be actually autistic, and her Patreon, where she is creating a community from healing and growth.
Well, her body isn't level 2. Fuck.
You serious? In March 2020, in yet another tragic turn in the twisted life of Muse, she was almost a victim of human trafficking for at least the second time in the state of Washington.
I'm escaping human trafficking, and today I'm meeting with the person to get my belongings back. Are you involved with the human trafficking, or you're a victim? I'm a victim.
She had bravely left the home of someone she would claim to be her abuser, and here's the real crazy part. I am the person she was accusing. On March 12, 2020, I was almost arrested in front of a Walmart in Chehalis, Washington, because she was accusing me of trafficking her.
I'm a victim.
Fucking what?
Crime that carries a sentence of 20 years to life. This is a story about professional, monetized victimization and recognizing the patterns of selfishness and sociopathy of people who operate outside the realms of human decency. People who hide behind a veil of vulnerability and fragility only to attack when you least expect it. Let me introduce myself.
Your boy, Wes Most.
And I don't just have a big stack of receipts, I have a theme song.
Remember, we're pathological liars.
Cause it's West Most and it's infamous, salty and dangerous, come on!
In order to tell my story, I have to go back a few years to how we got to this point. Brittany Simon is a longtime educator in the alternative lifestyle community. She had been a figure on YouTube almost since the time she graduated from high school, building an online following and earning the moniker of Mama Simon. When Muse reached out sometime in 2016 asking to discuss issues she was dealing with, Brittany agreed to a lunch meeting. Muse was open with the sad story of hard drug addiction, abusive exes.
This is fucking insane. This is actually fucking insane. How have I never heard of this drama? Holy shit. Oh, sorry, I wasn't driving, I was trafficking myself.
Alleged assaults, habitual homelessness, and a grim medical diagnosis, including a number of physical and mental issues.
When I first met her, she had a drug addiction, she had BPD, she had anxiety and depression, she had suicidal tendencies, and she had...
When she declared that she too suffered from borderline personality disorder, the same condition Brittany was...
Every woman on the internet suffers from BPD. Listen, this isn't me being mean to women. I like the women's. I'm just saying, every single one. Guys are all autistic, women all have BPD, okay? Anytime you get into drama, every time someone's like, you're acting like a fucking crazy person, it's like, well, I'm autistic. And then women, it's, I've got BPD. Every fucking time. So people are either lying or the internet, encourages a certain type of person to come. I'm quite surprised that I'm not autistic. That's where we're at this point. I feel like I should get, honorary autism.
Was open about in her own videos for years, it was an admittedly strange coincidence. Muse didn't stop there, telling Brittany she was terminally ill and had less than 2 years to live.
She claimed, when I met her for lunch, she claimed to be terminally ill and that she would die within 2 years.
This has now been confirmed by 3 separate, independent witnesses who knew Muse during this time.
Hey, Max, thank you for the 2 months. All woman. True. I will literally level 2 myself right now, Beckett. Don't chosen death yourself, okay?
Illness. Brittany had seen enough and recognizing danger, knew Muse was not safe.
Hey, I had lunch with somebody, they don't seem very safe or stable, and I don't want to interact with them anymore.
Over the next 18 months, Brittany began to notice Muse at more of the events and classes she was attending, getting closer to her group.
Thank you for the 3 presets. I don't have BPD, grab man.
Brittany was struck with the news.
We'll see.
Muse and her partner had started a physical relationship behind her back. Brittany was upset at the betrayal by both parties and left. Not just her relationship, she left the state. This was mid-2018, around the same time that Muse added dissociative identity disorder to her long list of medical ailments.
From her DID only became something she talked about a couple years ago when she started seeing my ex.
Months went by, and sometime in 2019, Brittany's ex reached out for help with his love life. Returning to Seattle, Brittany somehow managed to help her ex-boyfriend and his current partner navigate choppy relationship waters. To be fully transparent, Brittany did still have feelings for her ex, and she let Muse know that, but she was willing to help nonetheless. By this point, the relationship between Muse and her partner, Brittany's ex, had similarly crumbled, and the terminal illness that was once going to end her life had vanished. When things finally ended, he asked Muse to leave and she begged him not to go.
Sorry isn't good enough.
I'm
trying to change my behavior. We're in therapy. We're trying. Why is this happening?
Because you have said we need to talk about termination, so now we're talking about it. Well, you can't be in a relationship with me. Congratulations.
This completely contradicts her claims that she tried to leave and was gaslit into staying, but that's her pattern. The only consistency in her story.
Okay, I have an update on the leaks, by the way. From Drama Alert. Due to unforeseen circumstances, the release is being delayed by 1 hour. We sincerely apologize, but trust me when we say it's going to be worth it. I think I'm probably going to end and restart. Yeah, we're probably going to end and restart, and then we'll just do a stream just for the leaks. We'll just do a stream for the leaks, and we'll start going through things and picking through as much as we can, okay?
Stories is the amount of inconsistencies they contain.
Remember, we're a pathological liar.
She had already accused him of domestic violence at the school that she attended and they both worked at, but after an investigation, it was determined to be false.
Title IX coordinator is doing an investigation for the school because the school has to get involved in it as well. The whole situation happened because I had reported to my boss what had been going on.
She says the manager had to call for her because she is a
vulnerable adult.
A badge she wears with absolute honor. She did ultimately leave to stay with her family, and just a short time after her exit, her ex would get the surprise of his life when he learned that he was being accused of sexual assault by Muse. The claim involved a planned physical act that she had discussed via text message with Brittany Simon before and after the event took place. In her own discussion with Brittany about the alleged assault, it was her family who later gave her the strength to report the incident. But in the many tweets and videos she made about the subject, she claimed it was her friends who encouraged her to come forward.
My friends that were like, you need to report, you need to like let Brittany know what's going on.
Muse would be taking her ex to court for an order of protection, and her call to the police had started an investigation for the non-existent assault. With the truth in tow, Brittany...
habitual victim. Oh yeah, fucking hell. My brain hurts from this. I cannot believe that we started with does Brittany Simon run a cult to how did Brittany Simon get accused of fucking people trafficking?
He did the only thing she could think of. She helped her ex fight these false charges. Muse went on the rampage, slamming Brittany on Twitter and YouTube, accusing her of supporting someone who, in her words, was a monster. She had no receipts, showed no proof, but she didn't need to. Nobody questioned the sick girl with the horrifying story. The drama won over common sense, and Muse was seen as a triumphant survivor.
And I prefer the term survivor, but she uses victim in the video.
I'm a victim.
Rather than someone who was literally just pointing fingers and stirring the pot. Finally, in the fall of 2019, they went to court and the restraining order was quickly granted. In most states, one person only has to claim they are fearful of the other in order to get a successful restraining order. And without a good lawyer to represent you in a baseless case like this, the judge...
Hoz, thank you for the 4 months. It's your fault I'm autistic. For those who don't know, Hoz found out he was autistic because of my streams. I am very proud of this.
is more likely to err on the side of caution. The other charge for the alleged abuse during a consensual physical encounter was thrown out.
You're going down one of my favorite side quest rabbit holes. Good evening, Cecil. Yeah, I didn't know about this. It's insane. 2 from Ellington. That pain is the autism entering your brain. True.
A month or 2 later, when the evidence provided by Muse herself proved the event was mutual.
Who would lie about that? Like, that's the strangest thing to lie about.
Around this time, Muse added a few more elements to her medical profile. She was now on a feeding tube. She also would soon add EDS, autism, and a few other afflictions were either added to her online profile or openly discussed anywhere she could. Muse adopted the moniker Recovering Doll and continued unleashing a flurry of videos and posts about overcoming abuse, domestic violence, recovery, and so on. She made claims that Brittany and her ex were grooming young women to turn them into house servants. And that's the other thing I found about her. She has certain patterns she subconsciously follows that makes tracking her victims and verifying their stories almost effortless. Like this, for example. Muse is perhaps the most vain person I've ever met, and she has a plethora of professional and semi-professional photos in her.
I'm gonna share this to you because it's been sent to me by Beetle. I don't know how to feel about it. This is apparently me as a Care Bear. Beetle has new brushes that she's found and now she's having fun with. I'm not sure how this is going to go for me in the long term, but there you go. There is me as a Care Bear. Thank you, Beetle. You're very talented.
Possession. But what photo would she use when she went live with streamer Real Stream News to discuss the situation with Brittany Simon? One that made it appear she was on her deathbed, or as many have told me, they thought she was undergoing chemotherapy. And if you need proof of that vanity, look no further than this May 2020 stream when someone had the audacity to question her after she called herself pretty.
I'm a published model. You're dumb. Your back-ass insults really don't work. Like, you telling me that you think that I am unattractive, I am so glad that you find me to not be pretty. Because if I had to have people around you in my vicinity, whew.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Another pattern.
Thank you for the 5 from Getz. Whatever happened to the old saying, it's better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and confirm it to the world. I don't know, but since I installed OBS, I've had a few moments when I've thought, wow, I should have shut the fuck up. Oh god. Do you know, it's like the guy who called into Keemstar to Lolcow Live and just got blown out the water because Keem was like, who the fuck is this guy? And you're like, wow, you're really talented, you should not go on live streams. Your video essays are great. Fuck. I don't know whether it's better to be a good streamer. I'm not saying I am one, by the way. I'm just posing the questions. This is an ego trip. I don't know whether it's to be a good streamer or to be like a good video essayist. If I could pin something, if you're like, what type of content creator would you like to be? I would love to be someone who's good at video essays rather than someone who's good at streaming. Because video essays, I don't know, something about a good video essay I just love. Was that Big Bungie? Was that actually Big Bungie? Shit. I didn't realize it was. Ooh, shit. No, his video essays are fucking incredible. This guy picks a lot of good clips, lol. Yeah. I don't know who. I've not seen stuff from Wes before. I don't think I might have done. Sounds familiar. It's a really solid piece of work.
How about claiming none of your evidence can be shown because of a looming court battle? She did it here when.
Is any better on the fly? I suppose that's true, Ella.
It is all I can provide with you guys right now, without screenshots and things of that nature that are being submitted to not only the civil suit but also the criminal case.
And she did it with me just a few weeks ago while accusing me of yet another crime.
As you guys have known in the past, I don't do court battles with receipts public. I don't do that. Everything that I have gets submitted to court.
How convenient is that? Wow.
The general public was either unaware of the lack of proof or didn't care. Muse guested on a YouTube program or two, spreading her story of abuse and watching her subscriber base.
I feel more empowered by the situation than I expected to be.
Always.
Very emotionally manipulative.
Muse was homeless again after eviction, but before she left, she had a sale, a blowout of her items that needed to be liquidated due to eviction. These are manipulative. Each posting mentions abuse, a disability, or domestic violence. Not only would you not try and negotiate with this person, but you would maybe even give her a little extra money to help get her back on her feet.
Emotionally manipulative.
She quickly found another place to live, this time accepting a live-in nanny position on a farm for a couple with a young child.
I picked her up at the train station on October 4th. We offered her free rent and utilities in exchange for babysitting our 9-year-old daughter on Thursday and Friday nights.
According to him,
that PNG is man. So Chris, welcome in. We're currently going over Brittany Simon. We've reached the point where this is a Chris Hansen episode where Brittany Simon was on Chris Hansen because the person currently on screen, Muse, stalked and accused Brittany Simon of people trafficking and of her partner of being a sexual abuser. And a load of other things as well. This is actually fucking brain-breakingly insane, buddy. Hope you're good.
Muse was open about having an eating disorder, which necessitated the feeding tube, but was not transparent with the other elements she later alerted him to.
I was only aware of the feeding tube and the previous struggles with anorexia.
And we're going to go over the leaks. When they drop, we'll go over the leaks.
Pump.
We'll probably end and restart.
To her. She ate steak, spicy tacos, french fries, and candy constantly.
The EDS diagnosis has become a hot-button topic, as has the autism she claims to have.
There you go.
Yay! You did it! Putting an event in your calendar is hardly proof of anything, but I actually spoke with the man who took her to that appointment.
I drove her somewhere almost every day, even took her to a doctor appointment.
Oh, what? Brittany Simon? Yes. Brittany Simon's the one who kept calling her shot. Okay, I know we're going back. I want to show this to Chris, though. It's very important to me. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, and for those of you who have, I will never stop watching it. Okay, Chris, just watch this with me.
A sexual experience in the moment, but like after, you just feel very sexually gratified.
I cry a lot after BDSM. It's really cathartic for me. Like one time my friends fucked me with a banana because I have a thing around bananas. And one of my friends dressed up as a banana. And then my friend brought me a banana muffin from Europe. And then my other friend made a playlist of banana songs. It was very non-sexual. He like wore gloves and fucked me with the banana and a strap on. So like I wouldn't be fucking him because that would be weird. And then I kicked him in the chest and then I fought him off. And then he went to see if he could make me vomit, right? To challenge my issues around bananas. But I don't think that has to do with sex, and I definitely wasn't turned on after, but I did cry in his arms for a while, and it felt pretty good.
I have wanted to talk about Brittany Simon for fucking ever. I'm so glad I did. I know we're talking about Muse now, but like, holy fucking shit. I'm so good. Oh, fuck. If you would like to know more about Brittany Simon, friend Kylo's released a video, and it's really good, and you should watch it. And go give him a sub. He's great. I'm dying. I'm fucking dying.
Appointment in Seattle. It was a mental disability clinic where everyone else was either Downs or equivalent. She went there hoping for another disability to add to her resume. When she came out, she was disappointed in not receiving the desired diagnosis, but was happy they told her that one of her conditions could carry the hypermobility gene. She would bend her fingers back and say, "See?" like it was a badge or diploma.
Yes, it was the same person that she stayed with while living on that farm. She didn't have what she was hoping for, but just like that, she was able to add EDS to her list of ailments. It's the same thing with her autism. While she had an Etsy store that claims she is #actually autistic, what she has, according to her own recent TikTok video, is a referral from a general doctor to a specialist in order to be tested for autism. That is not the same thing. When he saw her post this tweet sometime later, he saved it because it struck him as odd. She was collecting and displaying ailments like they were Beanie Babies, and it was a red flag.
She wore her ailments like metal. She is a professional pity party, always a handicapped, disabled person that is continuously being victimized, looking for sympathy, handouts, gifts, help of any kind.
Back on the farm, it became difficult to know which identity of Muse would be coming in the door, and she soon became unreliable, disappearing for a few days with a very weak explanation.
I told her we were done trying to deal with her and no longer required her services, and this was her 30-day eviction notice. She came back a few days later to grab some things, and I haven't seen her since.
She left behind a huge mess, feeding tube formula and supplies, and a bunch of empty Amazon boxes. This is also the pattern.
This is about the only factual thing that people get right, so we do have a bit of a shopping issue.
She was quickly setting up her next move, flying across the country to Georgia to leech off of another good-hearted human being, feeling sorry for the homeless disabled girl who was so often victimized. She told her future roommate that the couple at the farm in Washington had been trying to groom her, basically turning her into a house slave.
We're a pathological liar.
How many alters do you have? Can you describe their differences and similarities? Holy shit.
The exact same thing she had earlier blamed Brittany Simon and her ex of doing, and the same thing she would say I did just 3 months later. It was December 2019. Somewhere around this time, Brittany Simon finally had enough of the abuse and backlash from the relentless onslaught that Muse was throwing at her. With over 70,000 subscribers and 9 million plus video views, Brittany Simon left YouTube for good. In a twist of fate, Muse would very quickly fall into controversy of her own. One night, while streaming on a campsite, she allegedly kicked her service dog. The video was quickly covered by a YouTuber, Realstream News, and people began turning on Muse, disliking her videos and leaving comments about animal abuse.
Stop abusing animals on streams. Or at all, actually. What the fuck am I saying? Don't abuse animals. What the fuck is wrong with people?
How did she handle
that woman who threw a cat? What was her fucking name? Was that Lav? I'm in Lav. Oh, it wasn't Lav. I've got accusations towards her and her dog. But, you know, white girl energy. 9 out of 10 people that claim to have alters are faking it. I think that is a conservative number. Fuck. At this rate, Beckett is just the guy I doodle to get out of burnout. I'm very happy with that. Making an orange character involving crabs, easy, let me cool. Based.
This by accusing RSN of abuse, doxing, and harassment, and once again people were quick to believe her stories. She called the police and FBI, but she soon learned talking about someone online isn't a crime.
That's really yucky.
Now residing in Georgia, the living situation for Muse had turned rather quickly. Muse's ex-roommate Kat actually suffers from many of the same medical conditions that Muse proclaims to live with.
Of course she does.
Anytime she was in pain or dealing with an episode, Muse would claim to also be in pain, only hers had to be worse. It was odd that Muse, who would often dance and perform on cam with no issues, would go to the grocery store and insist on using the electric cart as if she was incapable of walking, almost as if it was a show for attention.
Maybe do a little bit of self-reflection. Just a thought.
It was around this time that I met Muse. I was put in contact with her for a story I was researching, and she let me know about her poor living conditions with an overbearing roommate and her long list of medical conditions and concerns. She needed to get back to the Pacific Northwest where her state insurance was set up, and I live in the Pacific Northwest, so I offered to help her get back to Washington. Originally, she was supposed to find a room to rent or apartment, but she became more and more insistent that time was of the essence. She regularly told me about her fears of sepsis, and also convinced me that due to the doxing she accused RSN of, someone was trying to break into the home she was staying in. I eventually relented and let her move into my home in a spare bedroom with the understanding that it would be a temporary move for a few months until she got onto her feet. Of course, she would later...
I'm going to be honest with you. My sympathy levels for people who are like, hey, you seem fucking crazy and have loads of issues. Come live in my house. And, oh, God, okay, here is the trick to this. You know when somebody's, like, really depressed and, like you don't know them very well, but their life's just like a pity story? They're like, please help me. Don't. Run the fuck away. Here is like, and I learned this. I've learned this lesson multiple times, but the hardest time I had to learn it was like this girl, a girl who moved into the house I was living in years ago. But every single story she had was about how she wasn't the problem, somebody else was mean to her. And this is always the flag. If you get somebody and like every breakup they've had, every relationship they had, they were like, this person's a fucking crazy person, this person's evil, I can't believe, I don't know why. They're the problem. They are always the problem. It is the universal. Like, don't get me wrong, I've had my share of crazy exes. I've had my share of bad friendships where I was fucked over. But in many of those stories, in fact, I'm going to be honest with you, the majority, in fact, not by much, but the majority, I was the fucking problem, especially when I was younger, because I was a fucking asshole. So, like, and again, that's true for most people, right? Most people are assholes. It's fine, or bastards. I consider myself more of a bastard, but like, that's like the sign you should look for when people can actually go, I'm the issue. And then you improve over time. You go get fucking therapy like a normal person.
Or put it differently,
This has felt like a setup from beginning to end.
just 1 month later, Muse would leave Georgia for good, and I would become the latest victim of a twisted need for revenge. She brought her dog and some suitcases, but of course, left behind the feeding tube formula and supplies, as well as a mess of trash and Amazon boxes. Almost from the time she
Thank you for the 5, Thol. If you want to know more about Brittany Simon, don't. It hurts. Yes, that's true. But if you want to know more about more people who will hurt your brain, like and subscribe to Cope and See. This is apparently all we do. It's basically torture Beckett with insane shit that happened on the internet.
arrived, I identified personality traits that made me question everything she had told me before. I did not trust her and felt like I was being manipulated. She showed up at the airport in a wheelchair, but I knew she could
Are we the baddies? Yes.
It seemed like
Yes,
another thing
we
done
are.
for attention rather than necessity. It was the food, however, that was the first real sign to me that all was not as it should be. I had read about gastroparesis and the foods people afflicted with the condition are able to eat, and I made sure to stock up on them at home. None of these foods matched her daily diet of junk food and candy. I was led to believe she was going to be on a feeding tube 24 hours per day, yet it only seemed to be of use when going out in public or when she was doing one of her live streams on YouTube. Muse has said many times on record that I never gave her a set rent amount.
No, there wasn't even an unofficial rent that I could get him to give me. I had asked him like probably 12 different times to tell me how much I was paying.
But here you can see we had agreed on a rate of $300 per month. A week or so after moving in, Muse went out with a friend who lived locally. I asked if she needed a ride or if her friend was picking her up, and she told me they were taking a Lyft. She messaged me on her way back to tell me her friend would also be joining her at my house. This upset me. I wasn't being asked if this stranger could come to my house. I was being told that this person would be coming to my house. Strange that on her petition for order of protection, just a few months later, a legal document signed before a judge, she claimed she was not allowed to leave my house without me.
And so he's been holding you against your will? No, he traveled me across the entire country.
She returned to my home that night.
That's so insane. That's so insane. This poor dude. Fuck. People need to get a minimum of 3 years of therapy before they can get on the internet. Yes. Yeah. Fuck. Indigo's known me a long time. Indigo's known me a very, very long time. And he will tell you that I am a different person now than I was. And if I was that person, I should not have been a... like, it's good that I was a lurker on internet stuff, not, like, making content. I would have destroyed my life. The fucking pizza from the box was fucked. It told me how to cook it, and when I go to put it in the blunt, it was fucking slop, like a giant wet piece of slop. Jesus Christ. Fucking... Sorry, Evan.
Not angry and passive-aggressive. Just a day or so later, I slashed the rent to $0 per month because I was so desperate to get her out of my home. She was happy with the free rent. Who wouldn't be? But now, she was upset about how I reacted to her not asking for permission to bring someone to my house, messaging Kat back in Georgia, and complaining about how I was ghosting her in my own home. Not surprisingly, the same roommate who I heard constant complaints about while Muse was in Georgia was now getting the same treatment about me as she went off. With things clearly not working out in my house, she had started working on her next move. She let her former roommate know that she missed her and would want to move back to Georgia if possible, laying those seeds to see what will sprout later. That same night, I started writing out a
Hey, Pigeon Salad, 4 months. Thank you very much. These BPD case studies get weirder each patient.
house rules and expectations, and I would include a new earlier move-out date of April 30th. This was 1 month sooner than previously discussed, but still much longer than the 20 days the state requires for a legal eviction. On top of that, I was offering $500 cash if Muse managed to move out by the end of March, and $250 cash if she stayed until the end of April. I was monetizing her exit from my home and willing to pay more if she could leave sooner rather than later.
I was being paid to leave.
Because she was horrible to live with. She was dirty, selfish, a slob, a liar, and constantly involved in online drama and trying to bring it into my home. The house rules were completed on March 2nd and given to Muse on the morning of March 3rd. Later that day, she would ask to discuss the rules and new move-out date because in her words, she was in a panic. She didn't like that she was being asked to leave a month earlier than expected. What she really didn't like is that there were consequences to her actions. I understood, but at the same time, I let her know my mental health and sanity were worth more to me than anything else. We were supposed to go to Seattle to cover a court case on March 5th, but it was canceled when the courts were shut down. I let Muse I would not be going to Seattle
since I no longer had a reason to make the 7-hour round-trip drive, and offered to pay for a train ticket and drive her to the station. She got the ticket, sent a few passive-aggressive messages about how she shouldn't be on the train, and that was that.
Oof, great. Okay, great. You realize I am taking Bean on this journey and have to carry her kennel and backpack somehow, right? Because we know you are busy and didn't want to ask, but we're going to bring the kennel in the car, so we had to make this happen. We will look at the train tickets now. I should not be using public transportation with an infection, but I got the tickets. It's about $35. Please just take it off the rent. I just want to get it bought because I need this to be set in stone. Fucking crazy.
The next day, I drove her to the station and dropped her off. This was Thursday, March 5th, and she was originally planning to come back by March 6th or 7th. I was happy to get 1 or 2 days of normalcy back in my home, and she seemed excited for her trip, even live streaming from the train about traveling for emergency surgery and, of course, asking for handouts.
We need help on the GoFundMe because we are still planning on leaving at the end of this month and don't really have a plan of where we're going.
She let me know when she arrived in Seattle and kept me updated on her surgery. She said she would not be returning on the night of March 6th because of the anesthesia she was under, and that made perfect sense to me. In reality, she had called the domestic violence hotline and national trafficking hotline to lie that she had been trafficked. I had no idea about any of this, and the next morning on Saturday, March 7th...
Hold on. We're just going to go back. Hey, we were trafficked. We are reporting him and not even going back for the rest of our stuff. On the phone with human trafficking people. I'm calling domestic violence hotlines in a second because I have a feeling this is super illegal. What the fuck? Those blue eyebrows scream manic. Yeah, it's not enough to be a blue head, SJW. Sometimes you gotta get the eyebrows as well. Hey, I'm going to make the decision to leave now. Leave? Where? Seattle? Your city. Well, his city. What would you like me to do with everything you left behind? I'll be coming back for it.
I got a message from my now former house guest telling me she was making the decision to stay in Seattle. We decided we would meet a few days later on March 12th so I can drop off her things she left at my house, and I figured that would be the end.
The things I can't really leave behind are mostly in the bins by the couch, papers, tarot cards, webcam for videos, most everything else could be replaced. I'm not happy about having no way of getting medical supplies or being courteous and getting my belongings, but I'm not sure I have a way to. But I need those things at the bare minimum to be returned. Thursday, if you can meet halfway, I can have a ride.
What I didn't know was that she had already started posting on a private Discord that
I'm getting through it slowly. I am just glad... Fucking Discord every time. I'm just glad I made it out because it turns out he is a sex trafficker, so I am laying low with good friends until my tent comes. What the fuck?
Very morning that she was homeless and had just escaped a trafficker. She messaged me on the morning of the 12th and offered this little statement.
I hope that me leaving early has been good for your mental health.
I didn't want small talk. I wanted to know what all she needed from my house so that I could distinguish it from the literal piles of trash, used bandages, Amazon boxes, and food wrappers she left in the bedroom. She ran down the list and said,
Feel free to use trash bags. That won't bug me in the slightest.
You will notice she asked for just a few non-essential things, but nowhere does she ask for the boxes of formula or feeding tube equipment the state delivered to my house. It was somehow not as essential as her tarot cards, but I get it. Miss Cleo was a fraud too, and she's also from Seattle.
The cards can reveal things that you will never see by yourself. Call me now for your free tarot reading.
The point of her contacting me was made very clear by the next line.
If you need my Cash App again too, let me know.
I realized her feigning concern for my mental health was just a request for the move-out money I had offered, so I ignored the messages, as well as the numerous requests
for the living shit out of her.
While on the way to Chehalis, I got yet another request for the move-out money.
Please don't forget the Cash App.
I got to Walmart a little after 5 p.m. and pulled up next to the car she was in. I chose not to put her things in trash bags and instead put everything in 2 suitcases I let her have and brought along the 4 cases of formula. During a very unhinged live stream in May, she would claim she did not get her essential items back.
Items that didn't get returned to us because they were pretty crucial items.
But what was it that she claimed she did not receive? Well, according to the petition for order of protection, it was a dog mask, a t-shirt, and some photos. I started taking things out of the back of my car when a police SUV pulled up. Muse told me they were there to supervise a handoff at her request and I was confused. Why? There were no threats, no violence, no effort on my part to keep her things, or any reason for this officer to be here watching me hand over a few boxes and suitcases. She said she wasn't sure what was going on and the policeman asked if he could have a few words with me. I thought he wanted to get me away from the car my accuser was in so they can load up and leave, but then he started to ask me questions and told me why he was there. Muse had accused me of human trafficking and he needed to hear my story before we headed to the station.
When did I lie to the police? When? Because I didn't even talk to the police in person.
So this is why she was so adamant about getting paid the money I'd offered prior to me getting to that parking lot.
Please, don't forget the Cash App.
She thought I would be leaving that night in handcuffs, and she wanted to make sure the money I was giving her for being a nuisance in my household would be paid before I spent time in jail. Luckily, I had all these receipts. So within 5 minutes of going through my text and looking at the house rules, the police dropped the entire matter and instructed me to contact the Seattle Police Department because filing a false police report is a crime. I sat in my car stunned for a minute and messaged Muse to ask about the trafficking charges the police wanted to talk with me about. She replied back pretty quickly.
They just said I needed an escort. I don't know. They also weren't supposed to leave their cars. That's why I got super anxious.
She then added,
That was some racial profiling, and I'm tempted to complain.
They said, oh, tiny, pretty, frail girl.
That was some racial profiling? Fucking what?
Whining, just like you guys do on the internet.
I didn't believe her. I messaged another YouTuber, Tiffany Lockhart.
Tiffany Lockhart, who are you, hun?
And let her know the police had shown up to potentially arrest me for trafficking. I told her Muse was claiming complete innocence, and she reminded me that everything would be revealed on the 911 call. Maybe they really did take things out of hand. Or maybe, just maybe.
I am reporting human trafficking, and today I'm meeting with the person to get
Beckett's mind is melting? Yes. Yes, it is. Holy fuck.
my belongings back, so the human trafficking hotline had recommended to call in. I'm a victim.
So yeah, she lied. Her story made no sense, and even the operator was confused as to what was going on, as her story changed from saying she fled after emergency surgery to being kicked out after she refused to be physical with me.
As they said in Georgia for about 4 months, and then I came back from my emergency procedure and then decided to get rid of me when I wasn't going to have sex with him. Oh no.
It was all a lie. Not a misunderstanding, not a result of trauma, but a lie, made up to make me pay for asking her to leave earlier than she wanted. The operator clearly instructs her not to contact me until the police arrive, but of course she did reach out again after calling 911 just to make sure of one thing.
Please don't forget the Cash App.
So while the operator was confused, the call went out, and the two words that stuck out to the responding officers were human and trafficking. When I got home, I replied to her message. It's a long one, but I let her know I knew she was making up the trafficking claims. I also let her know she was going to make herself look like a victim in the situation.
Okay, we should have some interesting stuff coming in a bit for the leaks. My plan for this is I'm just going to raid you into the next stream, basically. I'll do a setup for another live, and we'll just raid you into another stream. Seems easiest, okay?
A situation where she chose to leave after I implemented some simple house rules and set a move-out date 2 months away that I would clear it up on my own. I saw the pattern. I recognized the signs, and I was not going to be her next mark. I don't think she believed me or cared, though. The only line that mattered to her was here, when I told her I hadn't paid her because I was worried she would have made a scene, and it was a little bit of an insurance policy for me. I was clearly not going to pay her now that she tried having me arrested, and only a complete sociopath would still be standing in front of me with their hand out, asking for the literal handout I was giving before.
You promised me money. After that, I'm gone. I don't want to explain when you act like this. I did what I was told to by my therapist and social workers. That's my truth.
We have to go back to Chris Logs to feel normal again? Yeah. Fuck me.
I have screenshots of everything. I also don't want to take this to court, but act like that, and I will.
This was starting to sound like extortion. Give her the money and she would be gone? But she said I was a trafficker. She claimed to be an advocate for victims of all types. If she really felt that I was a danger to the public, wouldn't bringing me to justice be more important than collecting a few $100s? Well, why don't we ask her?
But basically why we'd asked for the money beforehand was because we were owed that money. It's in writing in his own contract. And we were trying to see if the police were there, if he was just gonna, and that was the case. No, hun, $500 would not do anything for me. $500 would not, that is over 1,000, like that's $2,000 that I would need. $500 isn't gonna do shit. But I don't want it. If it's hush money, I need a documentable proof that it was hush money.
Fucking actually insane.
This is the same person who made a video claiming she was almost trafficked in 2016, and just 6 months before accusing me, was accusing Brittany Simon and her ex-boyfriend of the same thing. And let's not forget the couple she lived with before moving to Georgia, where she also claimed she was groomed. Why would she be so willing to let me slide?
Yeah, and how exactly was what Wes did not extortion? Because it's backwards extortion.
That's not even a thing. I wasn't going to reply because I wanted to see where she would go next, and she did not disappoint.
All right, court is. No contact till court. You're already reported. The investigation has already been a thing since I came out of surgery, and the social workers told me that what you did was illegal. I know my rights. I am no victim.
Then I got a request to my email for half of the money via Cash App. This is when it officially became extortion. I let her know if she was able to get the police to confirm that they made up the trafficking charges, I would gladly pay her the move-out funds as offered. Her response was,
I said no contact. You're really not the brightest. You're going to court.
I called
Why with all these DMs would you go to court? Why would you push this? This is, like, I think what's fascinating about this is the idea that, like, somebody was, like, so convinced that they could manipulate people through being the victim, that they could win a court case where they were outright lying about people. That's fucking insane.
The police reported the extortion attempt, and they were at my house within hours. Later that day, she updated her GoFundMe and mentions the move-out support she did not receive, as if she had been ripped off or cheated instead of telling the truth. Why would she be in crisis mode? And over what? A few weeks later, I released the first video detailing how I was almost arrested for human trafficking, and it was like a jolt through the community who had embraced her for so long. She reacted much in the same way that people often do when they are caught. She disappeared from YouTube and Twitter, played the victim, and claimed she was unable to share the truth because of her open case with the National Trafficking Hotline. So I called her bluff, and I called them. I asked about these open charges against me, and not only did they confirm that there is no such thing as an open case with their agency, but she was able to pull up the information from my police report and offered an apology.
I'm really sorry that this is happening to you.
But as is her pattern, Muse did not stay gone. The 2-year sabbatical she claimed to be taking lasted all of 2 weeks before she was back. Well, where could she go? Her entire identity and life had been tied to being a sickly victim, asking for online handouts, and my reporting of her actions had severely impacted that.
Anyone who is currently watching is interested in Patreon, please fucking go help me. Because
like the famous quote says, when the debate is lost, slander becomes a tool of the loser. And this loser came ready to sling mud. She tried using our private text messages on Twitter to entice people to join her paid Patreon because by this point, her GoFundMe career was destroyed, but nobody cared. Tweeting at Onision, someone she once claimed to be staunchly against due to allegations levied at him, fell on deaf ears.
Of course you go to Onision. Who else did you go to?
Away.
I tweeted at Onision, and no one even responded. I was at least expecting the hate mob to be mad that I was using the term psychobrat. And I thought that Onision, I was hoping that Onision would at least respond.
If she couldn't get fame, she would gladly take infamy, but what she ended up with was bored indifference. She would leave YouTube again the next day, claiming one more time that she would return in 2 years. This self-imposed expulsion and silencing lasted just another week or two before Muse was back with a wild, ridiculous 2-hour live stream that was all about me. This time, she had once again changed her name and had a new slogan.
I'm not playing this game.
She also had a new complaint.
Because I've been a victim of hate crimes in silence.
I am a victim of a hate crime.
$2 from Getz. How much would you pay to get her out of your life? I mean, more than this guy did. More than this guy did? Holy fucking shit. Fuck.
Stanley knows what I'm talking about.
That's not what a hate crime is.
Well, I hated it.
But who had silenced her? I certainly didn't. I wanted her to scream as loudly as she could about the truth. It's easy for her, though. Because of her claims of DID, she is able to blame different personalities for the awful things that she has done. And again, not surprisingly, Muse, the alter I was supposedly dealing with, was integrated into her system of alternate personalities and no longer exists.
All the time because Muse is gone because of the things that have happened within the past 3 months. But no, you're not looking at Muse. And quite frankly, you're not going to ever again. So.
Poof. Gone. Almost absolving herself of any wrongdoing in the process. When asked who instructed her to call the police when I showed up to drop off her things in that Walmart parking lot, she now says this.
It was a human trafficking hotline. I wasn't around for that. That was mainly Muse was there that day, so.
How convenient is that? Wow.
As a reminder, this is not an indictment on DID. It's an indictment on her and anyone who operates in the same manner and can continue to look themselves in the mirror day after day.
You're making yourself look like a fool. Okay, let's address it. Brief portion of what's happened. I'm a published model. Screenshot that. Use it in your next video. I don't care anymore.
She desperately needed to become the victim again, so she filed domestic violence charges against me with the court, and then did what any person living in fear would do. Hosted that 2-hour live stream where she accused me of stalking her social media, inciting violence by questioning her medical diagnoses, and she claimed I was working with her ex-boyfriend, the one who she has an actual active order of protection against to conspire against her. I have never met or spoken with this person. She also claims that she has a 5-year protection order against him, but it very clearly is a 1-year order, which expires 3 months from now.
The receipt is the fact that he is not allowed near us for 5 years.
Oh, the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
At the point this live stream was taking place, I had no idea she had filed these charges against me, as I had yet to be served with a petition. The hate mob she had literally begged for a month earlier was in full attendance, but while crying for herself and herself only.
When I've seen you talking.
Okay, thank you for bearing with me. I was making a thumbnail quickly. I know, terrible streamer. Terrible streamer. Trying to get fucking. I'm like, okay, cool. Fuck, I'll need a thumbnail. Holy shit. Oh my god, this is so weird. This stream has taken a turn in a direction I did not expect it to. One of our alters got evicted. I can fix it. No, you can't. No, you can't. Listen, do not echo of tragedy this. How dare reporting so true. Just sat here being like frantically just trying to like get a thumbnail together that looks vaguely okay. 199 from Max. I'd like to speak to the man and her personalities. Yeah, buddy, you're becoming a League of Legends player.
About us in a negative way. Do you guys not even realize like that your actions have consequences? Like
she uttered the only truthful thing she would spout during that entire day.
I tried to say this was a bad idea, but whatever.
Oh man, such a bad idea. She now stunningly admitted that the human trafficking thing was false, and this was now about something else entirely.
It's not even about if this classified as human trafficking originally. That's not even what this is about anymore. What this is about is the fact that I have been harassed, stalked.
On the live stream, she claimed the order of protection had been granted, saying she didn't need receipts because...
I don't need receipts, honey, because I have a fucking restraining order.
Which was, of course, another lie. Instead, she had just made a request, a perjurous-filled petition which contradicted her own 911 call, her text messages to me, her text messages to others, and her own YouTube account where she live streamed while taking the train to Seattle. Alone. She has twisted her own words so many times, she doesn't seem to know the truth from a lie anymore. When asked about her health record, she will offer this.
I'm not going to go, I don't have records of that. I don't have any medical records on file. Who keeps them with them? I've moved 9 times. It goes into the My Chart. I can't even get into the My Chart right now. I don't know how to get into it.
But just 4 weeks before that stream, on another channel, she had this to say when telling a sad story about her heart and fainting.
I hadn't been looking at like my Chart, which is basically where you can find all your test results and stuff. So I looked at my My Chart. Apparently I have like a lot more heart stuff going on than I realized. Like I kind of thought that they were like, oh, you can have a cardiac episode. I was like, that seems kind of melodramatic. No, it turns out that my EKG or ECK, I don't know. I don't study anything dealing with the heart. But that was not good. It was very bad, in fact.
There is really nothing else to say other than this.
Stop it. Get some help.
Truthfully, this order of protection was not about her safety. She wanted me to stop talking about her online because the donations and Patreon signups had come to a complete halt after being exposed.
What you're doing.
If you're gonna survive off the like kindness of others, you need to stop being fucking crazy. Deborah, oh, she's just like Boogie, how cute. This is unironically worse. It's so much worse. And she didn't even have to get tattooed. I can't. Keemstar said on Chuds, like, half the people think that I shouldn't let him back on. And the other half think that I'm, like, torturing him. And then there's another contingent that thinks everything's fake and I can't win. And I'm like, it doesn't matter which, this whole situation's so fucking weird. And I don't even care if it's fake anymore. I just think it's funny. That's where I'm at with Keemstar.
Has real effect. What you're doing can affect future things that we want to do. So
she was attempting to silence me, to keep me from telling the story on my channel and now on Chris Hansen's channel because exposure is the worst thing to happen to people like this. She was scared to death that Brittany Simon would start talking again and that the charade involving her ex would be further exposed as well. For anyone who believes that maybe there's some mental growth there and perhaps now she's seen the error of her ways, here's what she really thinks.
And to answer your questions, Brittany, yeah, we're happy despite everything that you and everyone else has put us through, because what they've wanted the whole time from us is to watch us crumble, to watch us be put in the same position that Brittany put herself in, where the whole internet came for her throat.
She emphatically states on her legal petition that I am in fact working with her ex to terrorize her, but then on her own stream, she admits she does not know if he is involved or not. It's all lies.
He's fine. He won't be fine if he's somehow involved in this. We'll make sure of that.
There are active felony extortion charges pending in my county, and she actually believes that filing a restraining order on someone who lives over 150 miles away will somehow act as a gag order. She broke her own no-contact order to email me the petition for order of protection and included the following warning.
Any further videos, contact to my friends, or social media posting is a violation. Court is the 21st. I am begging you to knock it off. You already were sent a cease and desist.
She was taking me to court for the exact same thing she had done to Brittany Simon just a few months before.
Brittany herself, though, has a following already online, and it's not so much that I'm trying to tear that down. I have phrased it that way in the past, but it's more so I feel like it needs to be talked about.
Only in my case, I have receipts. I have over a dozen people who have contacted me to share their stories and their victimization, and I did what I do. I made content.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna give you a preamble. I'm gonna give you a preamble or a taster. I don't even know how to phrase some of this shit. Holy shit. Okay, I have been sent some pre-leaks. I've been sent pre-leaks for the full leak, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second. Let me have a look at these before I read them out. No. Oh, fuck. Okay. Do you want to see some pre-leaks? Do you want to see some pre-leaks? Let's do pre-leaks. Fuck. These are pre-leaks for the full leak that is coming. Exclusive. You're getting, if you are here right now, you are getting an early viewing. You are getting an early viewing. Breaking fucking Copen Seas news. I'm turning into Keemstar. Jesus. Fucking kill me now. Alright, alert, Chris, that I'm back. I can't get on Snap right now, so I can't tell him. Oof, that's from Daddy Log. Discount Milk. At Chris the Meme God. Lolly God is back! Salinity. Designated Lolly. Daddy Log. Yes, it's me. Yay, you're back from Nicholas. Ooh woo. Oh, fuck. These logs are gonna be interesting. Oh. Holy shit. See what the next one is. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. That's I'm not going to change the stream title. No one will know. It's just you guys, because I fucking love you. Okay. Chris, I locked the Not Safe for Work channel yesterday for Only Gods. What do you guys think? Should I open it back up and also go at Discount Milk? Can you give Virtual Gorilla God roll? Discount Milk. I cannot. I would need a roll over God to give the God roll. My apologies, friend. Chris. Oof. Guess I'll do it tomorrow. Don't have my mouse and keyboard. Shadow. God.x has stopped working. Virtual Gorilla. Denying the peasants porn? Denying the peasants porn? Discount Milk. You on iOS? Hobo. Fucking flat face. Chris the Meme God. No, I ain't on, bitch. Jesus. Denying the peasants porn? Denying the peasants porn? Fuck. Let's just get rid of all these. Let's come back to the cover. Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, fuck. I am psyched. I am excited for these. I am genuinely excited for these logs now. Holy shit. Okay, here's another one. Here's another one for you. You just read my name. Why does Chris allow Not Safe for Work? Cheddar. Why not? You just read my name. It's porn. Cheddar. And you just read my name. Some kids may not know Not Safe for Work. They will click on it. Cheddar. When you enter the deleted channel, it tells you if you are 18 plus. You think kids are not curious? Well, shit. Oh, these are fucking not good. No. Oh, that. I think these might be worse than the fucking mod chat. Holy shit. Thimo, can we make Not Safe for Work just Not Safe for Work, but not porn? Cheddar relation. Themo, because the majority of people on this Discord are most likely underage. Cheddar, yes. Jeff is his name. Gang. Cheddar. Who wants edgy memes? Hands up. Jeff is his name. I demanded a crusade on anime furries. By the holy space Jesus, we must crusade. Just upvote this message as a petition. 3 upvotes, 1 downvote. Fuck. It's not a good look, Chris. Chris, that's not a good look. Just put my nudes in Not Safe for Work. Just put my nudes in Not Safe for Work. Oh no! That's so fucking bad. Listen, I'm very excited, but let's be clear. This is fucking horrific. Oh God. You had children in the server, you freak. Wait, what? You guys are seeing my actual... So, like, normally, for those of you who watch me fairly regularly... God, this is going to make me sound worse. So for those of you who watch me fairly regularly, you know that a lot of the content we do, I've pre-watched, I know what's going on, I've already sort of got a construction for it. This is me seeing something for the first time, and while I am laughing, I am also deep down inside, I'm actually not shocked. This doesn't come as a shock to me. It's really bad though. Like, fuck. Holy shit. It's very not good. It's very, very, very not good. So, fuck. Chris the Meme God. Nah, it doesn't do gay for some reason, but literally everything else is allowed, so go for it. I'll look into the bot and see if Lava disabled the gay feature, but as far as I know, it doesn't do it. Lava, what did I do? Yeet. Did you set up the hentai bot, or was it someone else, Lava? I didn't set it up. Chris, I'll look into it then. I believe in a free Not Safe for Work channel. If people want to catch the gay, that's fine by me. Shade. I like how Not Safe for Work has more messages than General. McLovin. General is just a bunch of nonsense in my Discord. Chris. That's all General always is. Fantastic. Holy shit. It's so bad. Oh, fuck. Oh. What? So, I think this is a reputation as well of there have been a few claims that Not Safe for Work was like just edgy memes. But oh no. Banning bitches baby. Chris the Meme God banned at Rod. For gore. For gore. Chris. Should gore be allowed in Not Safe for Work? Or should it only be porn? Discount milk. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fucking endgame. Holy fuck. This is, that ain't just memes, yo. That ain't just memes. Oh, fuck. Okay, we'll go back to this. We're gonna go back to this because this is insane. Well, I didn't think it could get worse. I stand corrected. Oh, holy fuck. Holy shit. Okay. Spread the word. Say, listen, if you want to clip some of that, if anybody wants to clip that, put it on Twitter. If you want to spread the word, please spread the word. These logs, I think, are going to be very, very interesting. Okay, if you want to clip just bits of it and what's in it, why the fuck not? Because holy shit. Fuck. Okay, I need to do a couple more things quickly. Think back to this, and then I'm gonna chosen death myself.
Never to intimidate. I never use her real name, never give her location, never riled up a hate mob, but I did warn people. Obviously, her scare tactic didn't work, and instead, I hired the same lawyer Chris Hansen used to fight the nonsense charges levied by Onision, and here we are today. If you are listening to this on the night it premieres, I have court tomorrow, May 29th, to fight charges of domestic violence, as Muse blames myself and others for the mess she now finds herself in.
What we're confrontational about is the fact that we've been threatened to be doxxed, we've been threatened to be harmed, we've been emotionally abused for about 3 months. It's okay for me to be confrontational.
And that's how the story ends today. But rest assured, it's not over for good, because she's still out there, and all it takes is internet access for her to be fully back in business and on to the next potential grift. If she does indeed want a hate mob, they're here, and the numbers are growing daily. But it's not the mob of clout-building trolls she was hoping for that would boost her profile like a fully grown Little Tay.
This Lil Tay is now the youngest flexer of the century.
Instead, they hate what she has done. Hate that she won't own up to and admit her mistakes and lies. Hate that she is...
I should go, do an AI deep fake of Beckett talking about politics. Listen, I used to talk about politics. There are streams of me talking about politics. They're all very gay. Who gives a shit?
Has taken advantage of the kindness of virtual strangers and hate what she has done to the DID community and every other community she has attempted to tarnish with scheme after brain-dead scheme. Most of all, they hate knowing that because of her pattern, there's a very good chance she could slink away, change her appearance and screen name, and infiltrate.
Oh? Okay, where are we at?
Another community with a convincing story of...
Come on. We'll give you a minute.
Sickness and victimhood. But if it does happen, if this unevenly matched game...
Oh, fuck. Okay, 51. Oh, we'll go back to 51 minutes. I'll reload it. Wait, you remember how you found my Discord when you said that? How? Actually, don't. No, DM me. Do not type it in chat. Fuck. Is that Brittany? Yeah, Brittany's in this. No. Hold on. If you're asking if the, like, skinny, sickly-looking chick is Brittany, no, that's not. That's Muse. That's the person who accused Brittany and her boyfriend of, like, sexual exploitation, which is a whole nother level of completely fucking insane, unironically. Fuck.
Change your appearance and screen name, and infiltrate another community with a convincing story of sickness and victimhood. But if it does happen, if this unevenly matched game of chess doesn't end, and she continues to target donors and the unsuspecting public with lie after dangerous lie, I'll still be here with computer in hand to keep making content. Because until she can admit what she did and get help for the hurt she tries to cause me and my family, I'll make sure she isn't able to do that to anyone else.
Oh, I think...
And something tells me Brittany...
Are you just gonna have an issue? Come on, Internet Archive. You know I love you.
Simon won't be too far behind. Muse, you wanted attention. Well, now you have it. And just like a line from a famous Bob Dylan song, how does it feel?
Okay, well, that's just gonna get me demonetized. Not demonetized, but it's gonna fuck my stream.
That'd be great. Primarily everything.
This man said I will be enemy for life.
Things on lockdown though, because y'all are crazy. If y'all could control yourselves, maybe we would come back. But most of you need to be put in real timeout.
That's fucking concerning. Am I gonna get, like, a message from this bitch? Leak time? I don't know if they're out yet.
Your boy, Wes Most.
And I'm out. Thanks for watching.
Okay. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to leak time, I think. When was this put out? 55 minutes. We will get them. We will get them. I'm actually genuinely really excited now. So excited. Holy shit.
Live in my house, but the grief, the feeling that I am somehow responsible if something happens to her when all this was dumped on me is how this happens.
And do you think you were set up, Wes, or do you think this sort of just happened and she saw an opportunity once?
30 minutes, yeah. As I say, I'll set up a live, I'll raid you into it. We're gonna do it. Do you want to see the thumbnail? The thumbnail's shit, but I'll show it to you. If I can, actually. Can I? Will it let me? See what offers do. Fuck. No idea. No idea. Okay.
Once you opened the door, opened your wallet.
No, I don't know necessarily if it was a setup, because after I put out that first video, it wasn't just Brittany Simon who contacted me. I lost count at 14, but there were so many people who had reached out who either gave her a place to stay, gave her money, donated to the GoFundMes, were supporting her on Patreon. just giving her massive amounts of support because, your husband has EDS, I have EDS. Let's talk about that. Let's share.
Thank God someone is restreaming Twitter Spaces of Cancer. Yeah.
That, and then that way, when I go on YouTube and I'm talking about my ailments, you'll come and support me because you can verify. So it's almost like creating your own sources on Wikipedia and then using those to say, well, of course, because I have this source right here who can verify I have EDS. And so I believe everyone was just kind of a pawn in this game, but I don't think I was set up because she had no idea when we first spoke where I lived or financial means or anything like that. So it's one of those people who's going to take what they can. And if you have the world to give them, they will take the world and never say thank you. But if all you can offer them is support and a reference.
How do you imagine being a long-term content creator and you've taken a break from the internet and you come back for this mess? Holy shit. God, my brain is just purely on the fucking leaks. I actually can't fucking wait. I actually can't fucking wait.
And a means so that they can continue to financially grift and get what they need from people, then they'll use just that. Whatever they can, she was trying to build an army of supporters.
And Brittany, how did you become aware that this was happening to Wes, and how did you get in contact with Wes?
Well, I had been off YouTube and strictly on Patreon since December, and then when he had posted his second video, part 2, a friend of mine who had been following the story, who had been kind of watching for Muse because it was such a personal hardship on my family and everything, and she was worried about me, she reached out and said, just so you know, a gentleman named Wes has created a video and you should watch it. And when I watched part 1 and 2, I wept. Not only did Wes so poetically put how this woman infiltrates your life, but he gave me an opportunity to reach out to somebody who...
Okay, so I do, like, as I've said before, I talked to Cookie. I know kind of what's going on behind the scenes a little bit. Basically, so to make it clear, might as well say this, fuck it, it's coming out anyway. So, Cookie contacted us and like talked to us about some of the stuff in the leaks, which is why I've got like a preamble of some of the leaks now. The logs are huge, but they also needed cleaning, which is fair enough. I believe they have been cleaned of personal or private information, is my understanding. The dump is fucking massive and couldn't be easily shared. So we're kind of just waiting for that clean to happen and then like a relative way to share them. And that's where we are. And there was some initial stuff that they had to do right at the end. They thought they'd be in time, and they've just had to push it back by now. So that's where we are. And if I look distracted, it's because I am. But thank you all for bearing with me. We will get there.
Made me feel like you get it. You get what she puts you through. It was horrible for my family. Court was so nerve-wracking. Everything was so hard. And reaching out to Wes really just lifted a burden off of my soul to know that somebody else had been so greatly affected. And that's why I referenced, and I will reference Wes as always brave, and he has done so much for my family. I will never be able to repay him because of the way he so wonderfully put just how this woman will affect your life if she ever gets a hold of you.
Back it with the scoop. Let's go. Listen, everyone's getting the scoop at the same time. Look, we have some things ahead of time. I've made the decision to not release them in a thread on the Twitter because I really want Cookie and the others to also get a load of fucking credit, and that's what Drama Alert will put out, I imagine. And they've been nice enough to give us sort of the heads up, so we've got like good timing for everything. They're cool people.
And give me a sense, Brittany, for the impact Muse had on your life and the life of your family.
I mean, it's for 4 years, this woman spent time infiltrating my friend group, convincing everyone that maybe I wasn't as authentic as I perceive, as I led on to the internet. I tried my hardest to remain private while being transparent with my audience. I have been known as an educator on YouTube for literally 5 years, and I had built a wonderful reputation for myself as proof the people who have come and gone and been better because of my interactions with them. But for some reason, this woman was so just skilled in convincing people that because I was a strong woman, because I was Mama Simon,
Oh my god, now we're back to Brittany being fucking crazy!
I was a predator somehow. She claimed I had groomed fans, which any patron will tell you I'm very, very cautious with my viewers. They have boundaries. She claimed that my ex and I were taking people off the internet and seducing fans to become our slaves. We are not Onision, and I'm sorry that she has that fantasy with him, but that is not us. And that has never been me, ever. I have been so strict with how I interact with people. So she went after my reputation. I lost thousands of dollars through Patreon, through different ways I was making money because people didn't know what to do. She attacked my mental health and well-being. My family had to take me in September. And
question, how long has she been on YouTube? Like, Brittany's like close to an OG creator from my understanding. Like, at least making content and putting things out since she was in, like, since she graduated. So at least like 10, 15 years, something like that. It's a long time. So Muse is basically Peaches. Muse is worse. Muse is worse. Peaches hasn't, like, tried to get, like, Lio arrested as an abuser. But yes, sure, shorthand. Beckett is fair. No, I'm not. I'm a cunt.
And basically hold and comfort me through a possible, I mean, this is a little personal, but I mean, I really contemplated suicide at that time because I had spent so much time, oh my God, I'm gonna cry, building a reputation for myself. And I'd worked so hard. And for one person who I had tried to help, who I spent countless hours on the phone with, who I'd given resources to, who even after she had the affair with my ex, I literally tried to help her. I have text messages, proof that I told her, if this is your true story, I will help you. But it ended up being false.
Like,
and
no,
so
you
my
are fair,
parents had
Beckett.
to watch their grown daughter not be able to handle this one person. So after some time, I got better. I've been healthy and happy for many months, but it had to come at a price, and I had to leave YouTube for it because I couldn't explain to people the private things she was attacking me for and explain, like, this woman is a con artist because she doesn't look like a con artist. She looks like a victim.
And what motivates?
The fuck does that mean? She doesn't look like a con artist. Like, she doesn't have the little fedora hat and the trench coat. You know, how con artists look. How do you have a career? What the fuck? Beckett is gay. Well, not true.
I mean, first of all, my heart goes out to you for, getting to this point where one other human being could have such an impact. We all know when we play in this stadium called streaming that, it can bring out the unwell people who can do very nasty, unexplainable things. I'm so sorry you got that low. I mean, that just breaks my heart.
I'm better now.
Thank God. So what motivates somebody like this to do? I mean, you're just out trying to essentially help people, maybe make a little bit of a living, streaming. And that's fine. That's why people do it. That's why you're in that business. But why does she target? I mean, what goes on in somebody's mind to commit this kind of evil?
I think I wish I knew better. I really wish I knew better because I had dealt with so many people who were struggling with mental illness.
What a pause. Half gay. His boyfriend is named Queeman. Queeman's also dating food shops. It's a complicated relationship. Fuck. Oh. It's Queeman staying live. It's Queeman staying live. I'm actually curious now. Hold on a second. I want to know. Oh, fucking Queen. Oh my god. Hold on. I have to show you this. This is genuinely funny. Queeman's doing. I know this stream's been all over the place, much more than my streams normally are, because I'm quite tight with things. But this is just funny. Like, Queeman has been going at Nux Taku and has added a fucking Nux Taku back to the Wiggler while doing fucking Tom Tent. That's genuinely very funny. Based. Actually fucking hilarious.
Had been assaulted, who were the...
I really want to, for those of you who like tomfoolery or even know who he is, And for my audience who doesn't really know who tomfoolery is, I am going to be doing a tomfoolery piece of content. It's either going to be a video or it'll be a stream, but it is going to be soon because I'm stepping back on the wagon. I'm fucking invested. Fuck this shit.
The best people I'd ever interacted with because they were so ready to heal. And I think it gets down to the fact that most of my audience, most of the people who followed me were trying to actually get better. They didn't want to be a continuous sufferer. They didn't want to suffer. And so I think for some reason she almost reveled in it. I think some people, some humans, don't want to get better because then they'd have to be accountable. They'd actually have to get to work, get jobs, pay rent, and own their existence. And my viewers are amazing people who have overcome so many hardships. And for some reason, this one person just didn't want to be better.
Wes, how bad did it get for you? I mean, we're talking about criminal.
We're getting teasers, by the way, for the leaks in 5 minutes, apparently. Just to keep you all in the loop. This is... I'm doing more of a run-up than fucking Drama Alert is. Yes, we're getting there. It's exciting. I don't want to put stuff out on Twitter because I don't want to piss on their parade, and I've said that to them. They haven't asked me to hold anything back the way, so I am fine saying this. But yes, when the teasers come out, we'll watch them on stream. I'm very excited. Are you guys excited? Let's fucking go. It's another Beckett Reads Discord logs stream. I'm gonna fucking chosen deaths myself.
Criminal charges. She filed criminal charges.
Well, so I mean, she was only at my, and here's the thing, she was only at my house.
We saw this in the piece you put together, but I mean,
yeah,
how do you end up trying to help somebody? Then I mean, thankfully you had evidence to protect yourself here.
Well, yeah, I learned a long time ago that I need to have everything in writing. So all of our communication was via text, was via verifiable ways, and that's what saved me from going to jail the night she accused me of the trafficking. And that's what's helping me now, because after the trafficking charges fell apart, and as you saw, after they turned to an extortion charge against her for demanding money to basically drop.
I don't know whether Indigo's still awake, but he's literally farming. He was literally farming stuff for our guild in Path of Exile. That's what Indigo's been doing. He's now going to be like, Beckett, you promised to play more Path of Exile with me tomorrow. And I'm going to be like, what are you doing all night? Bringing fucking logs.
Whatever charges she said she was going to file against me. After that fell apart, and I continued making videos and spreading this awareness, because that's what this became about. It became about spreading awareness about this person. She went and filed domestic violence and hate charge. She's saying I'm committing a hate crime by, talking about her illnesses or ailments and calling those into question. And so I have to go and I hired your lawyer that you use in a very similar case, and I think it's pretty telling, and I hope she wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
saying
Bestie and I are going to be playing some PoE on stream at some point.
I believe that she's worse than Onision.
My new build is fucking
Well, just to back
retarded.
up a second, so the lawyer you used was the same one Mike Morris put me in contact with in the Washington State area when Onision took his crayons and his construction paper and put together a request for a restraining order, claiming that he was being harassed by us, which obviously I think society in general should have the restraining order from being harassed by any.
You're reading logs, I'm dropping logs, we are not the same. What logs are you dropping? That's genuine asking. I'm interested now. What the fuck Ellington, what are you doing? It's very interesting.
The YouTube psycho brat from Washington State does, but that's a conversation for a different day. This lawyer obviously went in and represented you in this case just within the last few days.
That was shit joke. Am I just really tired and that's a shit joke? Thanks, Alex.
Well, she showed up to court because it was a phone hearing.
PoE2 is going to slap
because of
true.
everything going on. It was a phone hearing only, and she was unprepared and frantic and talking about how terrified she was, and people are making T-shirts, things that were completely unrelated to me, completely unrelated.
The fuck? Can you imagine getting a phone call for a hearing? I don't know what's going on. The Beckett Google drop is dropping soon. Yeah, I'm gonna. One day there'll be one of Beckett as a cunt, and I'll be like, yeah. One person threatened to make a video on me. And I'm pretty sure when looking through my online history, they just went, I'm not sure I can attack Beckett for anything because he's either already laughed about all this shit or it's just something he'd agree with. Beckett is a cunt. What are you? What video would you make on me? Beckett's a fucking asshole. Yes, true. True and based.
Related to what she was asking for. She got,
statement.
Yelled at a little bit by the judge. She asked for the continuance. Now, the judge did grant the continuation to May 29th, which is next Friday. But what was pretty telling to both my lawyer and another lawyer that I know who I spoke with the case about afterwards, the judge did not extend the temporary order of protection. So that actually
Why does this guy sound like a deeper voiced gamer from Mars? I have no idea. I know what you mean, though. We kind of know what happened now, and I'm kind of... My brain has moved on. My brain has moved on, I will admit. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do some stuff to tide us over. We're gonna do some stuff to tide us over. For those of you who've sat in a stream waiting for something to drop before, we're doing it again. What would I like to? What would you like to watch? We've kind of seen the levels. Was there anything else on this playlist that's interesting? What the fuck is this? We're going back to Brittany. Do you know what the painful thing is?
Hello, everyone.
I've also realized what saved Brittany Simon, because while Brittany Simon is fucking insane, she's also like not as interesting as some of the other people she's interacted with. So she's like quiet crazy. Like Valid Girl crazy. I guess the rich and retarded can be wrong sometimes. Also true. Beckett, can I do a video on you exposing your Jewish heritage? I think I'm pretty open about my Jewish heritage. It's not much Jewish heritage. I don't claim to be Jewish or anything. But I do have... My grandmother or great-grandmother converted to Catholicism. So I've got like Jewish bloodline through my mother. Did I just say that I had Jewish bloodline and then my computer froze? That's not fucking good. Okay, check. Yeah, I don't claim to be Jewish. Just everyone has some Jewish blood in them. Okay, I just happen to know where mine is in my ancestry tree. I'm hope I'm back. That was a weird fucking phrase. Okay, what saved her is her community. Oh, that's real. See, guys, it's all connected. What saved her is her community is very insular, even when she collabs. Like, who the fuck is even there? True. That's because it's a cult. Okay, we're gonna think about... This video is titled, How Fives Think About Transracialism, which sounds... Break your computer. Yeah. I don't know whether this computer needs a restart. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Simon. I am at the end of my day today. I've done all my calls and I really should be winding down for the day, but I really want to record this video before I do. But this one will be pretty fast. A lot of people have asked me over the years to talk about transracialism, and I've dabbled here and there talking about like Ollie London or whatever his name is, and that's been interesting. And Rachel Dolezal a couple years ago, but
Oh, this is interesting. When is this? 2 years ago. Okay, so for those of you who might be confused, and I don't know how many of that you'll be, transracialism is no longer like used as a word to refer to people who attempt to change their race. We don't do that anymore. I say we. I still do because I refuse to change. I don't know why leftists decided this wasn't a thing. Now it seems to be used as a word for like changing your culture or like potentially like dating into another culture. Real fucking weird. But yes, I thought this would be about something else, but Brittany Simon is actually going to talk about a topic that I find quite fucking interesting. I have a bit of a pet obsession with transracialism. I think it's a fascinating topic. Why do hipsters go for that haircut? I cannot answer you because I have an incredibly hipster haircut. Beckett, you should do a whole live stream just talking about Doug Walker and his adventures. I might do. I think if I do that, I'm gonna do it with Charles and Evan though. I think I'd grab people for that.
I would just want to talk about it again because I don't think there's any current public videos in which I'm discussing it. And over on the Discord, people ask me to talk about it. So let's just talk about it from my thought. So basically, what if I think about transracialism as a concept? I have a hard time with the subject because I think it's so strange. My identity, who I am, me being Chaldean or a woman or even bisexual, that's not up for debate. It is what it is. I don't care how many people tell me those things aren't true. They are not things to be debated. So it's hard when you're living in
I watched a documentary on that Rachel chick and actually ended up having empathy for her, though I can't remember why. Yeah, like I think like the transracial like transracialism like that's fascinating. It's very, very rare. Did you watch Kilo's? Are you asking whether I watched Kilo's video? We watched a little bit of Kilo's video. I have promoted Kilo's video. You should go and watch Kilo's video. I tend not to watch people's video essays on stream. In fact, with very, very few exceptions, unless there's like the information is nowhere else, I don't watch people's video essays on stream. You should just go and watch the video essay. But Kilo provided a lot of the information we've gone through, and we've chatted about this. In fact, I was talking to Kilo like when he started making the video. I'm very glad he did.
An existence in which your identity is being debated. I think without a doubt, if you're trans anything, whether you're trans in the way that we normally discuss it in relation to gender, I think it's pretty clear that you were one thing and you want to be another. Whether or not you were born that thing spiritually or you feel like you were metaphysically, that's a different conversation. I think when we have these conversations, we have to be honest. And to be honest, we know very little about what it means to be a person to some extent and a great deal about what it means to be a person to some extent. So I think we need to find balance in understanding what we know and what we believe. I personally, as a Brittany, really support trans rights. I also support transracial rights.
Wait, what? Hold on. I was going to make a joke. I personally, as a Beckett, but hold on.
Personally, as a Brittany, really support trans rights. I also support transracial rights, not as a concept, but as a right to being. Bodily autonomy is kind of key for me. But as I examine transracial people, I put them into different categories. When I see the Ollie Londons and those people, honestly, I don't think he's transracial. I think he's a man who's willing to do whatever it takes to get...
This is really interesting, okay? Because I actually sort of agree with Brittany. Bear with me. So I've always been, like, bodily autonomy, again, really important to me. I think it really matters. So, like, and also I think racism is terrible, and also there's an American influence. But I'm like, if somebody wants to change what they look like, or like into another culture and embrace that thing, I don't care. I think it's a little weird, I'll be honest with you, but I don't fucking care. I think it is very interesting to be like, I want to put people in different categories though. Like do what you want to your body. I don't give a shit.
Fame. It's very.
If you're over 18 and you're an adult and you're functioning and you're mentally competent, do whatever the fuck you want with your body.
Similar to other people who look like Ollie London. People who do extreme body
modification. There you go. There's a hot take that pisses people off.
I think are people who are unwell. And I think there are situations in which a person can be healthy and still do body modifications. But I think those people are rare, at least to the extent in which Ollie London and all these other people are doing it, because they're defying reality, but not really. You can almost tell they don't take themselves seriously.
It's going to join the Black
Ken
Panthers.
Barbie dolls.
Listen, I'm not a fucking sociologist or any shit like that. But I'm not one of these people like, I've read Martin Luther King, so I care. Beckett is racist. I'll say this. The one like quote I've always kept in mind, and it is fucking Malcolm X. Don't trust white liberals, they use you. That's it. Don't trust white liberals. They use you. They'll use you for their own like things. Just do your own shit. Mentally competent, damn, tipster can't even do it. They're true.
And the people with huge plastic surgery, and they're like, this is just what I look like. But the way they talk about it seems almost performative, rather than someone like Rachel Dolezal, who I think is a very genuinely spirited human who has a very complicated history with trauma. I really liked the little...
She has an OnlyFans now, by the way. There you go. There's your terrifying fact. I follow quite a lot of the stuff about Rachel. She has an OnlyFans now. That's because like after all this came out that she wasn't really black, And she was like, look, I'm gonna say this. If you're going to spend your time talking about black oppression, I don't mean that in air quotes for like black people being oppressed. I mean Rachel Dolezal talking about that as her thing and black rights and all this shit. Don't turn out to be fucking white, okay? don't do that. That's gonna make you look fucking insane. Also, for all the Americans in the audience, I'm British. I said something like Mad Mex is here. Mad Mex, the first time I was ever on a stream with Mad Mex, I've known Mex for like 2 years now, like in the general community. We get on very well. And the first thing, like, he jumped on a stream and I made a Mexican joke. It was about, like, I made a joke. It was, I think I said the lyrics of a Bloodhound Gang song, and everyone was like, whoa! And I was like, what do you mean, whoa? What the fuck did I say? Because I don't understand any of the racial stuff to do with being Mexican. I've just got no, like, cultural basis as to what would be considered racist. Just really bad. But Mex has incredible hair. Like, if you ever see him on stream, he's really hot. It's terrible.
Documentary story they did on her. I like her energy as a person. I think that it's pretty clear that there are black people in her life for a reason, and she's not ostracized by everyone around her because I think they see something in her as being very genuine. And I think given that she was raised loving black communities and
how much did you pay to get Rachel Dolezal's OnlyFans pics? I pirated them. Fuck.
With black siblings and married black people and has black sons and has a black father figure as well as her white father figure, I think it's pretty clear that she's adapted a sort of belief around blackness that it is better than whiteness. To be completely honest, I think that a lot of people who experience wanting to be in racial groups that aren't their own are coming from a place of loneliness. There was another person, the white guy, I don't know his name, who wanted to be Filipino.
Whenever, I'm around the music, I'm around the food, I feel like I'm in my own skin. I'd watch the History Channel sometimes for hours, whenever it came to that.
Okay, I'm just looking at updates on Drama Alert. Allegedly 10 minutes until Chris Tyson live leaks are out. Allegedly 10 minutes. Okay. Copenhagen. Look, I did it for research purposes only, okay? I did it for research purposes only. Fuck off.
And, nothing else intrigued me more but, things about, Filipino culture. I think if you're unhappy with who you are and you change yourself for the better and that makes you happy, go for it. But I would never say it was a privilege to, be unhappy with yourself all the time. Well, the funny thing is, I had to make sure that it wasn't just me, because if it's just me, then there must be something wrong, or maybe I'm just strange. So, I created the group in hopes of, getting our message out in a bottle, and people started to join. People started to message me about, their conflictions with themselves. My family knows about my transsexuality, but they don't know anything about.
Yes, I am setting up a stream in the background. They got them? They got them. Xylee, where are they? Xylee, message me. Okay, we got them. We got them. Right, I'm setting up a live. I'm setting up a live for 15 minutes from now, okay? I need some time to go set up. So, where are we at? 3:45, and I'm going to raid you into it. And hope this works. That's the wrong time. Okay, 3:45, done. Yep. I think that works. We'll find out. Fuck. As everything breaks on me. As everything fucking breaks on me. Okay. Does this work? Does this work? I think it just previews me to the next stream. Fuck. Okay. Visit. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay, I need to go and grab some things, apparently, and get set up for the next thing. I'm going to try and... Okay, so firstly, copy. I just want to make sure this works. Yeah. That is the link. I'm also going to raid you into it, okay? We're gonna try and get this to work. Very abrupt Cope and Seed ending. But we will get you there. We will get you there. We will get you there. Okay. Like that. Raw. Yeah, it's massive, so they needed to break things up. Redirect. There we go. Save. Okay, cool. It stopped on Twitter. Fuck. Okay, I will see you over there in like 10 to 15 minutes, okay? I'm going to try and get everything together. If it's a little bit late, that's why. I'm going to raid you now. Thank you for hanging out and watching the Brittany Simon stream. It's been great. Let's go do something fucking, like, breaking fucking news, okay? I'll see you in a minute.